And we are back, and it looks like the tech issues have been solved. We'll be able to get ourselves into it, and only delayed by about
Aster's
half an hour or so, so
TSM
not at all that bad here.
FTX's
Hurry,
turn to
we are going to be seeing
bat.
the draft coming out. Chen and Snapfire right off the bat being banned out here.
Yeah, I think Aster saw that TSM played the Chen. I mean, you should know that Whitemon does play it anyways, and they just got rid of it. You don't want to be playing against it in the play-ins, in the group stages. There's just so many games that you have to play. And here, it's going to be very rare that teams are going to have specific heroes in mind to deal with the specific heroes of their opponent. So you usually will see these heroes that are very good for a team just get banned out. You don't want to deal with them at all.
No, and the Timbersaur's going to go there as well. It looks like, yeah, even with those nerfs, nobody wants to play against, or at least TSM don't want to play up against the Timbersaur, so making sure it gets removed. Beastmaster, like you say, is still in that draft. The Broodmother's still here as well. Teams seem to have shied away from the Pugna. Yeah, Pugna's been completely ruined by that last patch. That nobody even considering picking that up. So we're not going to see any Pugna Medusa combos. It doesn't look like no Pugna Storm combos either. That hero is just feels like it's straight up dead to the pro scene now.
It seems to be the case, but that doesn't mean that he won't be making a comeback once enough time has passed. You know, a team might pull it out here and there when the enemies are not suspecting, but we're probably not gonna see it as a 1-2 pick with in the first phase, right?
No. And Aster, maybe taking a look at the break at the games that TSM have played, so they ban out the Wisp. Meanwhile, TSM just goes straight in for the Undying. And how much do you like this hero? Because it did get a change to the grab ally skill, you know. Not as useful. It's still pretty useful, but not as useful. Did that hurt the hero at all, or is it still like a top tier pick?
I mean, you can still click on the tombstone, get yourself in it. You can still put somebody in the tombstone from a side. You just cannot do it as an undying. So I feel like that change in particular should not make that huge of a difference. That's it. I kind of feel like everybody was making fun of the name of the spell, and then Nice Frog was like, okay, I'm gonna change this right now. I'm gonna remove it because I have nothing better than grab ally on my mind.
I mean, BSJ came up with the Entomb, right? Well, BSJ didn't come up with it. BSJ saw the Reddit post with the person that came up for it. But yeah, get the Entomb out.
What did they? Can you repeat it? I didn't understand what the name for the spell was.
Entomb. So you entomb them into the tomb.
Oh, cool. Okay. That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, and it just didn't get changed, so we're stuck with Grab Ally, which I'm pretty sure at least one casting per is happy about, or at least one play-by-play
it doesn't exist any longer. There's no spell. That's the case, right? They removed it, so there's no more Grab Ally. You just put the tombstone onto somebody.
Yeah. Technically, you're still grabbing them. You can only do it once, though.
True. Keeper of the Light Storm. We talked about the Pugna Storm. Not going to be something that we see, but we are going to be seeing the Keeper of the Light and the Storm Spirit. And guess what? It's a male Storm. And whenever I see a Puck versus a Storm, the Puck struggles in lane so heavily, and you're playing against the guy who got famous on this hero. So good luck, Bryle. I don't see this as a good idea. Even though Puck is great at catching both the Storm and the Keeper of the Light, I'm just super afraid that he's going to be struggling in the laning phase way too much.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that because I've not seen a successful Puck in a long time. Like, okay, I've seen one or two, but for the majority of the time, it feels like teams are going for this Puck pick, but it's still not a strong hero. Like the Storm Spirit, if it gets some early momentum going, it can, zip zap around, it gets kills, it goes like 8-0-10 in the first 15 minutes. But it seems like Puck doesn't have the ability, the tool set to be able to do this. So in this game, how much do you like the Puck just in general?
In general, I don't like it. In this game, I love it. When you look at the matchups for the heroes, it's a perfect pick, right? On paper, it should work out, but it just feels weak currently. That's the only problem I have with it.
Well, we'll see if they are going to be able to play around it. Like you say, coming into the Sumail Storm, that is a big ask to be playing into here. The banning out the Nagastar and the Medusa gets banned out from TSM, so they don't want to play into that now that they see the Keeper of the Light on the field. Slark gets taken away. We'll see if they're going to go for that Terrorblade ban, the Phantom Lancer ban here as well from either side, because Team Aster, they do have that next pick, so they could
10
ban one
seconds
out and
remaining.
force TSM to ban the other one and go for that in the next phase if they wanted
5
to.
seconds
I
remaining.
think TSM doesn't want to be playing versus Illusions, whereas Aster,
Yeah.
I think they should be okay. I mean, even the Blinding Light itself is a nasty spell for any Illusion hero to deal with.
Yeah, and you can see that, I mean, TSM made the first move. Like you said, they ban out the Naga Siren, so yeah, they don't want those. Will only be able to ban out one more, though, as Team asked to take away the Drow Rangers. So Drow, even though we've not seen it, it is getting banned out a couple of times. Seems that, teams are a bit worried of this hero being picked up.
Aster are worried because they are one of the only teams that actually sees Drow as super strong, and
Yeah.
they've been picking it up quite a lot in the Bali Major. So they probably see this hero as super powerful, as something that TSM could utilize on their side, right? They've played the Drow, they've played the Luna, they've played the TA, and they understand the strengths of these heroes. And maybe they're looking at their lineup and the ideas that they have, and they don't want to be playing versus it. Plus, there's an Undying on the other side, so that lane would be pretty formidable.
Yeah, true. Just having that, like I say, that powerful hero that sits in front of him, can just dish out a lot of damage. You can't really get to him here. We've seen TSM go for the Underlord both times as well. Do you think that's something that Aster needs to be worried about coming into this game?
I mean, they do have ways to push out the lane without being caught with the Keeper of the Light. I don't necessarily think so, unless they want to pick a PL, based hero, maybe a Terrorblade. Then I don't think Underlord is that big of an issue.
Okay. Well, TSM, they might keep it open for themselves. What do they want to be banning? Like you said, Illusion Heroes seem to be the name of the game at the minute, and TSM not wanting to play up against them. We'll see if they take out maybe the Phantom Lancer or the Terrorblade next, but it seems like both teams want to be taking away those carries and going to be narrow in the pool here coming through into the second phase of picks.
I take out the PL, to be honest. They get rid of the Darkseer. The reason I was thinking about the PL, people do go for the Aghanim Scepter right now, and people have maybe forgotten that Keeper Light PL used to be like the strongest lane because you spam out the Spirit Lance and then you give him back mana. Of course, the lane itself isn't that big of an issue, but an Aghanim Scepter PL with the Keeper of the Light just refreshing his spell, it's a big deal.
They're gonna go for a Lion, so once he gets himself, I mean, he deals with some of the illusions anyway. Once he gets himself up there, he can get that AoE drain out as well. We'll be able to pop those. But this hero, why is Aster, is this hero looking stronger in the current meta?
The hero is making a comeback, but Kaka has been playing a ton of Lion. That's yeah. I think the main thing. I looked at some of his pubs. There's a ton of Lions, and hero has been popping out here and there. Right, so it makes sense that they're gonna go for it. When you look at the Storm and the Keeper Light, these two don't really have the lockdown between them. Now this puck is gonna have a really tough time.
Would you want to pair it with something like the LC as well, just to be able to utilize the duel into the finger that comes out from the line?
Yes, tanky frontliner that can get kills, right? That can help you get kills. That's the hero you want to go for, and something that can do a solid amount of damage in the lane as well, because the Lion doesn't do damage. He only provides lockdown until he gets level 6.
Okay, and Terrorblade are going to come out for TSM. They burnt through a whole lot of reserve time to think about that one, down to 7 seconds left on their reserve clock, but the Terrorblade does come out, so we're going to be seeing that one once again. Team Aster, you talked about them being a little bit more comfortable into the Illusion Heroes. Is there anything you think that completes their draft that makes it even easier for them to play into this Terrorblade pick?
You get the PL. I'm loving the PL here. I don't know what TSM are gonna do if you just pick it up right now. It actually looks awesome. Monet, he knows how to utilize this hero, and I'm checking over and over again if it's banned out, and it's not.
No, it is still on the board. And Aster, do they want to go for it here? They've got themselves a minute left in the reserve time to think about what they do want to be picking up. And yeah, I mean, TSM, they already banned out the Darkseer themselves, so not going to be able to bring that back up as an answer. Team Aster, just going to go into the reserve time here. If the PL comes out, would you be worried about, which there it is, if you're Team Aster, would you be worried about like either the Axe or the LC going TSM's way for this final pick?
Well, you're gonna ban those two. I think LC is getting removed. Though LC is not as good versus the PL in lane as it used to be because the
Yeah.
overwhelming odds is around you, so you cannot just see the doppelganger and instantly do a like half of the PL's HP in damage to him. You have to get close, which is a lot harder. But yeah, those two come to mind. Maybe you ban out the Underlord
Team
over the
Aster's
LC
turn to
because there's
ban.
really not enough burst
TSM
damage on TSM.
FTX's turn to
Okay.
ban.
Well, they take out the Beastmaster. Completely forgot about that hero. But the Wild Axis spam would be pretty nice to go up against the Phantom Lancer in the lane with the Rubik. I would assume the Rubik in the off lane here with whatever they want to be picking up.
I mean, when I look at
10 seconds
when I look
remaining.
at Aster currently,
5 seconds
they
remaining.
they aren't really afraid of this TSM lineup, right? Because TSM doesn't really have all that much damage. So there's a lot of things that you
Team
have to
Aster's
deal
turn
with
to
your
ban.
last pick. I think Axe is probably the best hero TSM could go for.
Yeah.
TSM
And we'll see if Aster, they actually take out the
FTX's
Underlord, so
turn
maybe
to
a little
pick.
bit more worried about this. So we'll see if
TSM lost
TSM.
a ban. Look at that.
Oh, yeah, they did. They went straight through the reserve time and didn't ban one out. Huh.
Yeah, I'd be a little bit phased in the current situation if I was them as well. I think Axe is the way to go. The thing is, do
Yeah.
they have the time to think it through?
I mean, 6
Team
seconds left on the
Aster's
board.
turn to pick.
Broodmother. I don't know if I like. I mean, I'm not the pro player. It's not me making the decision. Obviously, they've got a plan on, in their minds how they want to try and play around this. But I don't think I'm a fan of the Broodmother into the Phantom Lancer. If the Phantom Lancer gets some
10
farm behind him,
seconds remaining.
I think TSM made the decision, guys, let's split push. We have strong laning supports that can scale really well into late game. Let's just take heroes that are going to be hard to catch. But that's where the Lion comes in. Lion and the Storm Spirit are going to be able to punish you. And that's why I think this lineup, it has holes in it. The thing is that split push lineups can always work. But outmaneuvering Aster for that long for your supports to become super relevant in fights, I don't like it. And this last pick is just beautiful. It deals well with the Terrorblade. Most of your damage is base damage, so the Anchor Smash takes away a lot of it. You deal well with the Broodmother. I'm a big fan of what Aster have here.
yeah, everything that Aster have kind of has, either some form of slow or some lockdown in it. On every hero, Monet doesn't have a stun, that's fair enough, but has the Spirit Lance slow. You have Lion with the Impale into the Hex. You've got Keeper Light, Blinding Light for the pushback. The Solar Bind comes out as well, slows them down. Means they take even more magic damage as well. So Shumel seems we're going to be able to stack that up with his damage coming through. And yeah, Tidehunter just looks like a really good hero in all phases of this game. Being able to Ank smash away the Spiderlings, being able to, like you say, takes away Tomatoes damage in the lane as well. Aster, I think I'm leaning towards this draft. As much as, I want to be back in Ari and TSM here, I just think Aster have the draft for game number 1.
Yeah, we already come down to the conclusion that you're a false patriot, right? You don't really support your guy Ari. You just want to bash him when he's not doing well. But yeah, this Aster lineup is much easier to execute, much easier to play. There is one thing though, they lack damage until they're for the majority of the early game, they actually lack damage away from the finger. And I think that does give an opportunity to their opponents to split the map, to get that farm, and possibly get the items necessary so that they can battle their opponents. So it is possible for TSM to outmaneuver Aster in this one.
So do you not think that once the Diffusal Blade, I forgot the name of the item there, the Diffusal Blade's up for the Phantom Lancer, do you not see them grouping up as 6 and as 5 and trying to run down the side of TSM?
I think you go for an axe first. We'll see what he does. I would assume that's the play. That's what people go for, unless you do really well in the lanes, then you can get the Diffusal Blade. But Diffusal Blade is mostly a fighting item. You don't really want to be farming with it. So I'd say Aghanim Scepter is more likely of an item for the PL to get.
Okay, just because, I'm thinking about the 6s in terms of the hero levels as well. Once that Ravage is up, once the finger's up, it does become a very scary lineup here for the side of Aster. And do you think, looking at the Tidehunters, so we've seen some Tidehunters that do want to go for that blink, as we see again on the items, so many branches to come out. Magic Sticks being picked up by pretty much everybody here as well. And yeah, it looks like we're going to be seeing some quick ones, but XSS on the Tidehunter. What's the build for the Tide? Does he want to go quick blink, or does he want that aura build to come out for Aster to help them in the fights?
I think Vanguard has kind of become a staple for for most of the offlaners, so I would be very surprised if he skips on that one. Getting a yeah, people still do it, right? Or maybe you go Meteor Hammer, right?
Yeah.
That could be the be the case.
Forgot about that, but we did see that towards the end of the major, I do believe. Yeah, the Tide's coming out with the Meteor Hammers. He's got that Ring of Health queued up there as well, so it looks like that might be what he wants to go towards. Just
I would
seeing
like
Tomato.
that.
No?
I would actually like the Meteor Hammer, because
Yeah.
it will allow you to push towers, whereas TSM will probably split up, you know, try to dodge and stuff like that. And with the Meteor Hammer, you kind of force them to come and defend, or they lose a tower.
Yeah, and we'll see in the mid lane how Sumail's going to do up against Brawl, like you said. This matchup more Storm Spirit favored, do you think? Like you
Yes,
say in the draft?
yes, for sure, for sure. I mean, if you just look at the animations of the heroes, Storm has slightly better stats as well. He has, it's easier for him to stand his ground and fight the Puck, because Puck has 1 armor and Storm has 5, so it's pretty much impossible for the Puck to trade.
Yeah, and we'll see on the top lane now as well. Did they actually get the kill? He's trying to run himself away here on the Keeper of the Light, but Chase coming out, not going to be connecting here from Ari. Won't be able to get that first blood on the board. But yeah, Pichu, he's going to have to use his salve, hang himself around this tier 1 tower to get the regen back here as well, and play it real, maybe not that careful, as he is going to be able to snipe Ari's courier.
One thing going for TSM is that they have really good laning supports, and that is something they should utilize, and for now, they're utilizing it quite well, especially in terms of pressuring the PL on the top lane. Monet might be farming well right now, but they are losing regen rapidly.
Yeah, and Kasani just being able to spam out this, so it didn't even go for the webs at level 1 here. Kasani just wants that Silken Bowler straight off, and now level 2 is able to get those webs out and get those on the map.
Nobody gets level 1 webs any longer. Usually they go for the Silken Bowler. It's just way too annoying and so much damage.
Yeah, fair enough. And how do you expect Kasani to... Does he want to build more into the webs? Excuse me, the Silken Bowler. Or do you want that level 3 point in Insatiable Hunger?
Usually you would see 2 points in webs, 1 point in Insatiable Hunger, and 1 point in Silken Bowler. It just comes down to it how the lane is going for him. If he's gonna get pressured and he needs the Insatiable Hunger, he's gonna do it. But I guess a 2nd point in web wouldn't surprise me.
Okay. We'll keep an eye, see how Kasani wants to build this one. As we take a look back in the mid lane, Bryle, he's trying to pull at least the range creep around back into the mid lane here. And Sumail, how's it going in terms of last hits? Sumail's about 5 last hits. I'd say about 6 last hits above now. And Bryle, well, Denied does come out here. But yeah, he's not having the best of times in this lane here, the Puck.
It's to be expected. You picked up a Puck into the storm. You knew what was gonna happen in the laning phase. You didn't pick it to win the lane.
Yeah. Back on the top lane, you can see Kasani's taking a lot of damage, low on health as well, but on the bottom lane, this might actually be the first blood coming out. Can Kaka get himself away? The Hex comes through, so that's going to waste some Metamorphosis this time, but one more right click come through from Tomato, and Whitemon will pick it up in the end. So first blood going the way of the Undying here. Tombstone was dropped to help him get that kill. Slow down onto the Lion, and an easy pickup seems like for Whitemon.
Imagine if you're slower than zombies. Like, these things literally crawl on the ground. It just goes to show that Lion needs some exercise. But yeah, I mean, he did everything right there. He killed he killed all of the zombies. He made sure that the Terrorblade wasn't close. In the end, he died, but at least he didn't give the first blood to the Terrorblade. So Kaka getting the best out of a pretty bad situation.
Yeah, and you don't think the Lion gets enough exercise going from hell to back and hell and back to hell, and you know, it seems like a lot of moving around that for the Lion.
Yeah, but he goes there by other people breaking his legs rather than just running towards there and back. Fair
enough. And we'll see Whitemon, at least for now, he's trying to get into XSS's face and just trying to do what he can with the decays. Taken away from Tidehunter. Tide's having a bit of a tough time here. Telekinesis, so Ari once again, he's trying to chase down onto Pichu. Pichu can get himself away from this one. The right click's coming out from Ari. Does he have enough with the Blood Grenade to get the kill? Fadebot flies through, and it will be enough there for Ari to get that one on the board.
Very nicely done. He knew that he had enough mana with the sticks, and he was just gonna go for the chase. That's the thing. If he didn't have the Blood Grenade, he would never be able to catch up to the Keeper of Light. Way too speedy of a hero. But yeah, the Blood Grenade, it changes quite a lot. You underestimate it and you die.
Yeah, and back in the mid lane, we can see Sumail again, just throwing the harasser onto Bryle. he's not having a great time yet. Doubling over the farm here, and Brawl being forced right back underneath his tier 1 tower.
Good thing is Samael doesn't have that many denies, so at least the puck will be able to get a level 6 today at a decent timing.
Yeah, and do you then want to bring someone in from the side lanes to get the gank onto the Storm Spirit when the 6 is up, or is it still just trying to get as much farm out of this lane and let the side lanes deal what they can?
The question is who? Who is actually the damage dealer for TSM? I don't see it. With the Storm having the infused raindrops, he looks pretty untouchable to me.
Okay. So, do you then want to rotate off the puck to the side lanes, or again, is it just business as usual for a few more levels?
It's business as usual, mostly, because the puck needs a lot of farm in this game if you want to be killing people. And speaking of killing, XXS is getting gone on him. Okay, he TPs to the base. I thought he was just going to be TPing to the tower. That's an overkill.
Yeah, he just leaves. Kaka will go down once again. So another kill on the board here, top lane. Did he get the jump onto Monet? Monet trying to get himself away from this one. The chase down the Insatiable Hunger. He might have enough to get the kill. He's straight up dead. Kasane, so TSM, they pick up how they left off in the last series. This break has not hurt them at all here. Bryle struggling a little bit. Will be Vortex back. Do they have the damage to get the kill here? Samael is trying to go. He's going to be able to get the kill. And Bryle, well, no way out of that one. So at least asked to get themselves on the board. But TSM looking pretty strong in this game so far.
Yep, they're side lane supports. That's it. That's their strength. And they're getting quite a lot of it. You know, the Tidehunter hasn't been dying and has been farming well. But then again, so has the Terrorblade. And the big win is the top lane with the Broodmother. I think that's the main one for TSM, because that's gonna allow them to overtake the top part of the map, control it, and if they're able to do it, it's gonna be much easier to dodge the storm.
Yeah, and it looks like the Tide... Let's take a look at Sani. Okay, so he's going to go for the Soaring and then into... But XXS is going to go for that Meteor Hammer. Do you think that they let him even get aggressive onto these towers? Because it looks like Whitemon, he's sticking around, just wants to use these decays and get in XXS's face.
The second that the Tidehunter gets his Ravage, it's always gonna be dangerous going to where he is. But yeah, now he has the Meteor Hammer. The idea is Aster wants to have some kind of a chance to be threatening the towers, to make sure that TSM cannot dodge them. But yeah, I guess stopping him from pushing the bottom lane, it's really gonna be impossible.
Well, we're gonna see Sumel just trying to farm these stacks. Even Whitemon, as Scriff was showing out there, use the Twin Gate to go towards the top lane, trying to put some pressure on this tier 1. While the Meteor Hammer has started to fly down now. Tomato's still not going to be too pressured. Level 6. Looks like he's holding a point on the Terrorblade, so if he needs that Sunder, he can go for it. And you will see if he actually wants to throw that one out here, as the tier 1 tower will be put under some pressure, but as a reflection in the top lane, TSM, they're stacking up on the tier 1 tower in the safe lane for Aster.
TSM are trying to open up the map, and that's very important. We did have a Brood game where the Brood had such a bad time, but this is gonna be a completely different scenario where Kasane will be that scary Brood that the supports just cannot invade on, or they're just gonna die.
Yeah, and now Brawl's going to have some stacks to try and farm up now as well. Has himself that Arcane Rune, wants to pop that one to help him get the farm with the Orb. Will be able to get something out of it. They do take the tier 1 tower here. Kasane going to be able to take that one down on the Brood. And meanwhile, the Terrorblade at least keeps his tower alive for a little bit longer. Meteor Hammer will be dropped though, so will eventually go down here. XSS comes in. Going to be able to clean up this creep wave here as well, so it will be a 1-for-1 even trade on these towers.
You can see that Samael now wants to go for the Orchid, and I understand that you want to be able to get the kills. And they found Tomato.
Yeah, big dive in here. Is he still holding the point? He is on the Terrorblade, so he's going to be able to get the Sunder off now. Do they have the Stun with the Ravage? They do. They have the control. They have the burst damage kill. And Tomato, he put the point in, but he was just far too controlled there to be able to get his life back with the Sunder.
Mid lane TSM are applying pressure. Even though they lost their carry, they still want to continue doing quite a lot, and they're sending XXS away.
Yeah, he's going to be slowed down by the Blood Grenade, by the Tombstone now. This is going to open up the tier 1 tower. They know that Ravage is down, so there's no major follow-up to come through. They have the Dream Call if they need it. Samael not even in the lane, so they should be able to clean up this tier 1 tower.
Yeah, the supports were thinking about going for the Tombstone, but with the puck being around, you would just be bonus kills. puts down the Dream Coil, and these low-level supports are just gone.
Well, they might still go for it. Dream Coil does get dropped now, and Kaka can he get himself away? He absolutely cannot. Ari gets a kill with the Fade Bolt now, and it looks like, do they get the kill into the Tide Hunter? Tide trying to get himself away from the silenced up, but should be able to walk himself away here. Taking a lot of damage, but he's got 1 point into. Do they get the kill? They do! Ari going to be able to get him with another Fade Bolt there, over the 1 point in the Kraken shell.
Oh, TSM did everything right there. Aster, this is the type of situation where, like, just let go of that tower, but you don't feel like you want to do it. But in the end, the second that that tombstone got placed, they needed to be searching for things around the map, something else.
So at 10 minutes, we'll see, you know, Tomato just carry on farming up middle of the pack when it comes to net worth, but that's even though we did go down, this is still really good for TSM because they're creating all the space around the map, and Tomato, it's going to relieve some pressure on him now that they've taken this tier 1 tower. On the top lane, he can twin gate up there if he needs to. He's got the backup to come through from Kasane as well if things do go a little bit wrong. Is it... How much do you want to see the Storm Split farming compared to playing around his team and looking to get aggressive and looking to get these ganks on Sumail?
I mean, the second he gets the Orchid, he needs to be going for ganks, right? That's the idea. He wants the Puck dead, he wants the Rubik dead. Every single time he sees them, they have to die. And considering that the early game didn't go well for Aster, that has to be the case.
Yeah. And we'll see. He might be able to go for a big dive in onto the Undying here. Whiteman, though, does he go down or will this just bait here? Sumail, Tombstone gets dropped, and Sumail, he will be able to take the kill. He's going to be pretty low himself, but Kaka rotates in. They get that impale off, and Kaka might actually give up his life to Kasane now. One more right click, spawn Spiderlings, will be able to get the kill.
They saw there for a second that they cannot fight versus the Brood. So 1 for 1 is the best they can get out of that situation.
Well, it might go from bad to worse here, but it looks like Pichu's going to be able to back himself away. But Kasane just not leaving this lane, and yeah, like I say, creating space for Tomato, just relieving that pressure on the Terrorblade, and he's going to be, you know, the target to kill if Aster want to group up for this. But how slippery really is he?
Oh, Monet needs to get away here. Monet needs to be slippery if he wants to live. We talked about the split push potential of TSM, but now it's not split push. It's we can push in the lanes heavily so that then we can hunt whatever we want.
Dream Coil comes out. Is he going to try and pop this one? He's going to try and get himself away through these trees. TP's comes in, but it looks like they're going to be able to get the kill. And now Monet's dead. Will Pichu go down as well? They've got the Solar Bind coming through. They have the damage. Yeah, they can't slow him down. And Bryle gets himself a double kill. So even though he didn't start off well in the lane, still recovering with these rotations, with these kills. And I think we saw that in the first game of TSM versus Execration as well, where the game wasn't the best for Bryle in the mid lane, but he was able to make some good rotations with his team and make a good recovery into the game.
Or if Sumail doesn't make good use of this Orchid, it is gonna be a huge issue for Aster. You can see that they're switching up their item choices. XXS, he wants a Blink Dagger. The game did not go the way that they wanted. Kaka isn't even level 6 just yet, and that is just showing us that Aster, they're in a really bad spot at the moment.
Yeah, you see that XXS wants to go towards that blink. Kaka, like you say, not even level 6 yet. So he's looking maybe for a jump in, maybe to find someone. Sumail's going to show in the lane. Nearly lost his courier there as well with the completion for the Orchid on it. But in the end, the Brood didn't chase it down, so the Cornucopia did get out safe. And we'll see where they're going to go here. 3-man smoke.
Yeah, they need to have the Tide there as well, because Storm might use a lot of his mana to get the kill, and then the only way that you get out is if you have a big ultimate there to cover for you.
Well, the Lion does have 6 now as well. He might group up with the rest of his teammates here. Looking for the smoke gank into the mid lane, though. Tide Hunter doesn't have that blink for another 400, 500 gold, so won't be able to get himself in there. And it looks like TSM, for the minute, just playing it safe, you know, not showing on the map, not giving away too much information. And Aster, it will be a failed smoke gank.
Yeah, the heroes that you need for a kill are missing, and TSM, they understand what's going on. They saw the items in the storm. They knew that he was going for an Orchid, so it wasn't really that hard of a situation for them to read. They're really playing good Dota here, TSM.
Yeah, they really impressed me today, and that's not just the bias coming through. They played some really clean Dota. Telekinesis, do you think he'll kill into XXS? He's got himself the Ravage if he wants to pop it, but he straight up fish food there, and Whiteman's going to be able to get himself another kill on the Tide.
they do have the items now to take heroes down, and the second that the tombstone is placed, that's the second that Aster cannot fight. Monet is not going to be joining a fight anytime soon. He has just bought a Midas now. Man, Aster, they need so much time, and TSM, this ability of theirs to push out the waves, it's going to make it very tough for Aster to survive. This game is a complete disaster for the Dire side.
Yeah, I mean, I had my doubts coming into it on the Broodmother pick, but Kasani's played it really well. 2-0-3 on him. He played the lane nice, some great rotations as well from TSM to take advantage of that. And Aster, maybe just not at the races yet today. 7k net worth lead and 10 kills for TSM. And I mean, Aster can still get... I'm not, you know, the fat lady ain't singing just yet here. As a good couple of fingers coming through, some ganks from Storm Spirit. And Aster are right back in it. Monet's finding farm as well on the PL. So it's not like the game's over. It's just a little bit of an uphill battle here for the side of Aster in the first 15 minutes of the game.
Okay, if you say so, because I'm looking at it and this PL doesn't look like he's finding farm. He's actually finding scraps of it, hoping every single time for that hand of Midas to cool down so that he can get some extra gold.
Yeah, Stormswift's going to get the dive in now as well. Finds the jump onto Ari. Did get the kill onto the Rubik, though. Rubik is pretty darn tanky, but yeah, will still be able to get the kill. Dreamcoil gets popped. Do they have the control, though? Sumail will be able to get himself away. It's going to cost Kaka his life, but do they get the kill onto Sumail? Sumail's out of mana. They're looking for it. They're going to try and go with the Reflection slowdown now as well. Sumail can get himself away. The damage stacking up from the Terrorblade. It's going to be way too much. Sumail, he couldn't complete the TP, and Tomato takes down Sumail. He was just completely out of mana, though.
Yeah, he needed some more time to get the mana back, and that was just enough for the Terrorblade to close the gap and finish him off. If he had TP there a second earlier, it would have been a perfect move from Aster. Trading 1-for-1 and so many TPs, you are happy, but with some Sumail dying, that's your space creator. That's the only hero that is actually having a good game on your side.
Yeah, and I know I asked you the question a lot in the first series, but how do Aster, because it is a little bit lopsided, so how do they kind of get it back in their favor or take away the momentum from TSM to let this PL get into the game?
So they need to play the long game right now. I'm trying to think. So if you go Blink Ravage, that's not good right now, because if you use your Ravage, the enemies are just gonna walk into the Roche Pit after that. So that is off the table for going for a pick off with the Ravage. You can't do it. I guess the biggest thing is make sure that you do have solid vision and solid access points to the Roche, so that if TSM gets the idea of getting that one to increase their advantage, you're ready. Before that, it's farm and hope that the Storm and the Lion can get a kill.
Okay, well, we'll see here. I mean, Monet, he's just looking through, like you said, that hand of mine is coming in useful. Ari's pushing it up the lane, and maybe acting as a little bit of bait there on the Rubik, because he does have some backup, or he had some backup, before they go through the Twin Gate and get themselves started on Roshan. And Aster nowhere near being able to contest onto this one. It looks like TSM to be able to get themselves a free Aegis.
This is the thing that you should have been ready for, but with the top lane not having a tier 2, it's impossible, right? There's absolutely no way that you're going to be able to do it. Even though you do have the outpost, TPing there, it will just be a bloodbath.
And once they get this one, what did TSM look for? Oh, what did he steal on the Rubik? Okay, it's just going to be the mana drain. Monet, he's showing in the lane, but it's going to be close to and the rest of his teammates. So yeah, they take this Aegis. TSM, objective-wise, is it trying to clean up the rest of the outer towers on the map?
The thing is, you don't have to, right?
Yeah.
You are completely fine just pushing in all the lanes. If you look at the lanes, every single time it's green dots going towards the red base. That's what's happening, right? And now with the Aegis, it's gonna allow Tomato to actually posture even more aggressively on the other side. So you don't have to do it. But to be honest, when I look at them, they can force things, and you maybe even want to do it, because if the Tidehunter is forced to use the Ravage, and that's what you want to happen, for the Tidehunter to use the Ravage defensively, that's gonna put you in such a commanding spot.
Yeah, and I mean, Tomato, he's already used this Metamorphosis. He wants to use the extra damage, the extra aggression to come through from this to take down this tier 2 tower in the mid lane. We'll see if It looks like it's actually just going to be the creep stick coming out from Pichu here. The Keeper of the Light using the Illuminate damage to take down the creep wave. The Blinding Light coming out there as well. So Tomato has to move himself away from this tier 2 tower, but we'll see for how long and whether Aster just using that as a delay tactic or if they've got something up their sleeve to make something happen with this, because the tier 2 tower on the bot lane is pushing in.
This is why it's quote-unquote risky to go for plays like this, is because the enemies can annoy you if you do.
Yeah.
But then you get annoyed yourself and you just walk up the high ground because the glyph was used.
Yep, it is down, and now they're going to be able to get themselves onto a tier 3 tower. Tomato, though, the Metamorphosis is down. XXS, he blinked himself into this one, but Tomato will be able to walk himself away. Aegis there for another 3 minutes and 20 seconds, so no Ravage being spent. I mean, you don't want to throw it out anyway. The rest of the team from TSM weren't anywhere close by, looking to just save Tomato if he got in danger, but not actually showing it in vision.
The question is, was this worth it? 2 minutes of your Aegis to make it 3 once the meta comes back up. You take away only half of the tier 3. That's nice, but you have allowed the PL a lot of time to recover. Now he's gonna have an Aghanim Scepter, which is gonna prevent you from pushing quite a lot.
Well, the sounds come through. The finger's going to be thrown out now onto Tomato. I don't know if he got the stack on that there as well. It looks like he did. He gets it on the board here, the Lion. But now the chase coming through. TSM, Kasani's on the run. And it looks like Sumail, Pichu, as well as Kaka back themselves away. And it will just mean that they can go back towards this tier 2 tower. That was... I mean, at least you blow up the Aegis, right? It costs you a level 1 Lion Finger, which puts it on cooldown for the next 3 minutes. Oh, close to 140 seconds. But... it's still, you know, you still get a charge on the board. You still take away the Aegis from TSM, maybe a little bit more unsafe for them. But then TSM didn't seem phased. They just went straight back towards that tier 2 tower.
Yep, that's the case, right? But now it's gonna be tough for them to take the bottom tier 2, right? So opening up the map completely, taking all of the outer towers is gonna be tough. That's why I would have preferred if they just continued playing the way they did earlier, and just a little bit more aggressive knowing that they have the Aegis, but they decided to force out the objectives, and we'll see if that was the right move, because it's gonna be easier now for Aster to play.
Yeah, they're going to try and chase in. The Ravage comes through onto 3 heroes now as well. They do get the kill to Ari, but Kasani is going to try and sustain here with the Insatiable Hunger. Do they have enough damage to get the kill? Kasani chasing down onto the Tide now. The Tide is a really tanky boy, so he changes targets. They get the kill onto Wyman. The Terrorblade coming in on the backlines now as well. Do they have enough damage to get the kill onto the Perk? They don't, and Sumail will fall here. XXS being right-clicked down by Tomato. Do they have enough damage to get the kill here? As it looks like Kasani, he gets the kill onto Kaka, backs himself away, so it looks like it might be a disengage, a 2 for 2, but you did lose the Storm Spirit in favor of 2 supports, so TSM, bit of a better trade for them here. But,
yeah, a bit of a mistake. Took too long to kill the Undying because he used the silence onto the Brood who had the BKB. So that was a mistake from Sumail that ultimately cost him his life. It would have been a much faster kill on the Undying, and then possibly even get yourself away, whereas the Orchid on the Brood really did nothing.
And they're going to go back for the Tormentor here. You've got Tomato stacking the damage up. Ari, he probably needs to back himself away to make sure he doesn't get soloed. But for the most part, yeah, Ari's going to be able to get himself a free shard, and it just seems like TSM, maybe not the cleanest fight there on the bottom lane, but they did force out, like I say, they got the kill on the Storm Spirit, they forced out a Ravage, and they just feel comfortable in their times to get these rotations around the map. And Aster just don't have the same momentum, the same pace, it doesn't feel like.
True, but that move from Aster was still good. It's showing that they understand how they need to play Dota. It was a Ravage for a Metamorphosis, so in some ways the Terrorblade cannot push. Big problem though coming from Aster is the Butterfly, and you really won't be having anything on the PL to help you deal with that for a very, very long time.
No, you will not. He is going to go back towards the Diffusal Blade, and actually, I mean, Sumail's going to go for the BKB. I was thinking Sumail could just go straight into a Bloodthorn if he wants to. He's going to try and get the dive here, but there's going to be the Harpoon. They get the drag back. The Dream Call is going to be there as well, and Sumail, bit of a mistake here. Do they get the kill to Pichu? Pichu, Dual Scepter. They've got the control. They have the kill onto the Keeper of the Light as well.
Okay, this is really bad because you're not gonna be buying on the Storm. Oh, did he cut the wave on Kaka? No, he can't do it. It's just impossible for the Lion to do so. Losing the last outer tower, that is a problem, because even though your PL can spam the hell out of the creeps with the Spirit Lance, it's just impossible to mount up a fight if you don't have any outer towers.
And we'll see. Butterfly is complete now onto the Terrorblade. And like you say, they're going to be nowhere near being able to deal with this one. And if you're TSM, are you just waiting up for the next rush? 2 minutes plus?
Dire's bottom tower.
You are, yep, you're controlling the map, you're pushing in the waves, and you're waiting for a move from Aster, right? It's even when you get towards the Roche, considering that all of the lanes are going to be pushed in, you're going to know everything. You can make any play you want. Smoke, split push, farm, it doesn't really matter.
And we can see that, yeah, the Terrorblades and the Broodman at the top of the net worth by... I didn't even realize the PL. It's been a long time since I looked at that top left corner. Didn't realize he was 5,000 gold behind, even with a hand of Midas here. This Phantom Lancer, it's not looking good for Monet.
Yeah, not good at all. They will smoke up on the side of Aster, but without the Diffusal Blade, the PL just still doesn't do enough damage.
And yeah, 5-man smoke coming out. Aster, they know they need to try and do something. Even if they, it was a 3-for-3 trade, as long as they got 3 kills themselves, it would be a nice trade for them. But TSM, again, playing it safe, playing away, playing as a group, and it's just really hard for Aster to find someone to catch out.
The idea was to get some kind of control of the top part of the map, because that's where the Roche is going to be. So you want to smoke out before the Roche happens, because it's a little bit tougher for TSM to do it. And they were hoping to read it, and they were hoping that they're going to catch somebody off guard. But nope, TSM, they hold position, they stay closer to the pit, and you're not going to be getting any super deep wards there on Aster that will help them actually fight when the time does come.
Well, yeah, now the Harpoon comes in. Oh, the damage. It's stacking up, but at least they're going to be able to get this push away. They know roughly where Aster are now, and TSM, they're sticking themselves on the high ground. They're waiting. They're saying, no, 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 no. You fight into us.
Puck has a gem, so it's very easy for TSM to clear out all of that vision that does come close. If you want the vision to stay alive, you're going to need to commit for a fight, which would be suicide right now for Aster.
This is a big thing as well, that the Storm Spirit was showing on the map in the bottom lane, so they know if he wants to get up here, he's got to, in a hurry, he's got to come through the Twin Gate. In fact, they're going to send at least a Terrorblade through, maybe just to try and push this lane back out, yeah, because he's pushing towards the tier 2. So just using these Terrorblade illusions to push the lane back out, take away that catapult wave, and then set up, again, Roshan, 37 seconds before the big man's back in his cave, so 35 seconds, and Ari's at least looking to push out this tier 2 in the mid lane. But they are keeping this top lane pushing, keeping the pressure away, and keeping that vision up so they can see anyone coming in to try and contest this.
Aster needs to outpush bottom and the mid lane so much before the Roche gets taken down. They have to do it. If they don't do it, it's gonna be a complete disaster when it comes to TSM when they take the Roche. If the lanes aren't pushed out, if TSM doesn't need to TP back, they're just gonna walk towards the top lane. There's gonna be almost nothing that you can do about it.
The webs go down. I think they were trying to make a move onto XXS there. He moves himself back. There was no Harpoon drag back in. Has that Ravage if he needs it. Pipes up, going towards the Shivas here as well, it seems like. And Roshan is back now. So it looks like TSM, they just want to push this top lane back out. Give themselves as much information as possible. And maybe now make their way back towards the Roche pit.
Very smart things that they're doing. They're making sure that the lanes are pushed out before they go for the Roche. Because what's going to happen if you just walk into the pit is that the mid lane, bottom lane are going to get pushed out. So after the Roche, you're going to be needing to TP to deal with those, and that gives the opportunity for the Lion and the Storm to do their magic. You don't want to get into that scenario.
Yeah, really clever to be from Tomato, just using the Twin Gate, pops those illusions and lets the lane push out. As they move themselves into the Roshan, we'll see if Aster want to contest into this one. They are grouped up as 4, but it's still so far away. Look how quickly this Roshan's going down as well, and yeah, Aston just not going to be able to contest into this.
Yeah, they're not close. They will smoke up, but this is not going to be in time. This is actually the worst thing. You're missing off the map, you're not pushing out the lanes, and the enemies are getting the Roche.
Yeah, and now the Twin Gate, again, the push through, they can just play a little bit of push-pull around this map here, because you see the 4-man smoke coming out from Aster, but everybody from TSM already down the other side of the map.
Yeah, you don't want to be caught off guard on the top lane, even though you're ahead, you have the Aegis. On paper, you're stronger. A bad angle can always cost you a fight, right? Let's say you're together, there's a Ravage, a follow-up Earth Spike, and suddenly you've lost all of your lead. You don't want that to happen, so you just go to the part of the map where you're pretty sure that the enemies are not. You outpush the waves, and you continue playing like that. That's what your lineup is good at. You still need to be careful about the big team fight, because the Ravage could be something that takes you down.
Yeah, and you see that Sumail, on the map at least, he dove in deep there to get the Wisdom and make sure that TSM don't get both of these heroes. It looks like they want to, once again, push onto this high ground tier 3 tower, taking a lot of harass. Tomatoes Still not use that Metamorphosis, so it looks like he just wants to keep himself going. There is going to be Tendrils of the Deep coming out into that Meteor Hammer, though. Tomato just straight up sunders and got the drive out with the Harpoon. They're going to go to... No! Extra success to give it the Glimmer Cape, keeping him alive for a little bit longer. Kasani wants to chase him, but that BKB not got a long left on it, so Kasani needs to get himself away from this one. Did he want to go? The Rabbits just get popped, and they're going to be able to get the kill onto the Broodman. The big misstep there. Kasani just going in way too deep, overcommitting onto the Tide. Didn't even get the kill on the Tide Hunter either.
That could have went badly for Aster because the Ravage could have gotten stolen. XXS, what he did, he went in with the Ravage and then he didn't follow up with the Anchor Smasher, the Tendrils of the Deep. He just started going for the Meteor Hammer, the Rubik. Didn't get the Ravage, so at least that's fine. But this is the thing, TSM, they just went in on the high ground, whereas I still think their lineup, it should focus on shoving in the waves because that is what they're good at. And then once Aster makes a misstep, bam, you jump in with the puck, you get the kill, and you open up the base for the push.
Yeah, but now there is no Ravage here, so TSM, they still have that Aegis, might feel a little bit more comfortable. They did get the tier 3 tower down to, what was it, 94 health as well. Yep. So a couple of more hits, that tower is gone. They open up the lane for Rax, and it just feels like, yeah, TSM, or at least trying to, get in poke, get a little bit of damage onto the tower, get themselves back. And Kasani maybe wasn't reading the script that the rest of the team were on. Telekinesis, they've got a bit of lockdown. XXX, so pops the pipe, just going to go for the straight walk away.
Yeah, still now there's no Ravage, so very, very tough to defend, and the Aegis is still up. Let's see for how long.
Does he get taken down Tomato? These illusions from the Phantom Lance? No, he's still going. He actually sunders out there onto Whitemon as well.
Yeah, he'll be fine. He was given mangoes, I think, by the Rubik there, so that's how he got the mana for the Sunder.
And you can see that Smel's not even on the space defense. He's just looking again to push out this mid lane. Tomato, though, just backing himself out. He knows the Sunder's down. Aegis has got 2 minutes left on it. So they are just playing it safe. They're not overcommitting. At least this time, they're not overcommitting. And Aster at least defend the base. They've got the Ravage back up in 35 seconds. So it was good for them that they didn't lose any more tier 3. Or they didn't lose a tier 3. They were able to hold the base. It didn't really cost them anything in the second fight either.
Well, it's very hard to push into a PL. Double Spirit Lance with the PL and the Keeper Light, it's just way too hard to deal with. There's so many illusions instantly that spawn, and it's just impossible to go high ground like this. So TSM are gonna have to find another way.
And Terrorblade, what does he want? He wants the Silver Edge to come out as well, some even more damage to come out for Tomato. And yeah, Phantom Lancer, it's actually going to be the heart to come out for the Phantom Lancer, so he's going to be even harder to get through these illusions. Going to be pretty tanky as well. And we'll see, the Aegis will be wearing off in the next 30 seconds, in the next minute or so. So not a lot of time there for TSM to push onto another tower. It looks like they're just going to go back, try and get even more farm, but you take a look at the net worth difference. With how strong TSM have been, it's only a 4k difference between the two teams.
It's not that big of a deal. The advantage of TSM now, it's coming from them taking down the outer towers, right? That's the thing. It's very hard for Aster to find a fight outside of their base. That's the only thing. In terms of strength right now, I'd argue that Aster are stronger if it comes down to a fair fight.
And yeah, this is what it looks like TSM playing away. So, do Aster really want to take a fight outside the base? It doesn't look like it wants to. It looks like they just want to build up to the heart on Monet.
It's hard for them to be together outside of the base. That's why they're probably not going to be fighting.
Yeah. And how do they play around it then? Do they wait for the heart and go for a smoke and look for these heroes that are split up? Because it looks like TSM, they even split up. They want to get aggressive.
The heart changes a lot because it allows you to survive for a very long time as a PL. That's why. And then you will have time for your teammates to connect, or you will be able to go in, go out, so you don't have to only rely on your illusions, force the enemies to gather, and then if, let's say, TSM are starting to gather and Aster are starting to gather, ultimately you will get a fair fight, a 5 versus 5 that doesn't start with anybody losing a hero at the start.
Okay, well, we'll see just how quickly that's going to happen, or even if it is going to happen, because TSM, again, playing away, at least 2 minutes before Roche is back. Is this, again, TSM just play away, play safe, find the farm, and look towards that next Roche and get even more siege damage on the tier 3s?
that is something that they have to do right now. Going up the high ground at this moment is not possible, but I think just continuing to play what your lineup is good at, and that is exactly what Tomato is doing with this illusion, sending it into the base. Constant damage, constant pressure. Teams tend to crumble under it. Aster, of course, has a lot of very experienced players, so I doubt that's gonna happen, but if you're not trying to apply it, obviously it's not.
And we'll see Tides. We're going to see another Tormentor go down, actually. So who gets the shot this time? As Tomato should be able to. Yeah, he doesn't go down. Actually going to be Braille that picks it up. So we're going to see the puck shot come out here, which I never remember what this is. So the bonus magic damage and puck attacks all. Okay, so it's pretty nice. Yeah, it's a pretty nice buff.
Yeah, you use the phase shift and you attack everybody. It's solid, right? It's no biggie overall. And the thing is, right now, PL has the heart, but some big items have come out as well in the last couple of minutes. The Shiva for a Tidehunter is huge to protect the supports from both the Terrorblade and the Brood, and the Broodmother has the Hex. That Hex changes things a lot, especially for the Storm Spirit, who doesn't want to pop the BKB instantly, but Samael has a 9-second one, so this should be a solid fight if Aster can get the right jump.
And it looks like they might be able to get the backstab off now as well. You see at least the rotation from the line and the Tidehunter behind enemy line. Samael's just trying to find some farm as well. And are they going to be able to get the jump? Do they have the vision on this one? Because, I mean, TSM are in the smoke as well, so it looks like we're going to get a wrap on a wrap. And
Aster has better positioning and ward, because they're the ones that got the gem out of the Brood last time around, so they should have the advantage here.
Yeah, look at this as well. The PL just sending the illusions around to see what's coming through behind. Roche not up for at least 16 seconds, and they are going to put some pressure onto the tier 1 towers. They should be able to clean up this Radiant tier 1. Do they get the jump onto XXS? So he is the furthest one behind by a long shot.
TSM pushed out the mid lane and the bottom lane, and they're controlling the twin gate. So Aster, you need to be deciding to fight fairly soon. You have the arcane rune on the storm. I think even if they don't have the better positioning at the moment, that they should be stronger, and I feel like they could feel confident enough to go for this one.
Well, they're going to know Tidehunter's roughly around here because he did take down that watch, and meanwhile they see the rotation from the Phantom Lancer into the mid lane.
He's coming back.
Are they going to be able to get it? Yeah, he's going to be able to get himself back into this one, but not before the fight breaks out now as well. They get a lot of damage coming through. Tombstone's going to be dropped as well. Did they get the kill onto the Tide? They do. He wasn't able to throw that Ravage out. Really nice Hex coming through from the Broodmother. They get the kill onto the Keeper Light now, and it looks like they might be able to go for even more. Samael just using the last of his mana to jump himself away. And now Monet, Kaka just have to move themselves away from this one. The buyback comes through them. They might be able to get the Hex. They get the control out. Finger. They get the kill onto Bile, but what else can they get here? The Broodmother, he wants the revenge on the line. Moves himself down into that little pond. And now Monet, does he need to move himself away from this one?
Samael is full mana.
Comes through from Kaka. Yeah, he wants to get himself into this fight. They've got the lockdown. They've got the drag back. Terrorblade, though, has the Sunder. Does he get it off? Does he get it off onto anything? It's going to be Illusion that he gets it off onto, and immediately loses about half of his health once again. So, Monet, is he going to be happy with this? Do they want to back themselves away? They forced out buybacks both sides, but it's going to be Brow's buyback that comes through from TSM, and the two support buybacks here on the side of Aster. They have that Tidehunter coming back up in 20 seconds as well with a Ravage. So TSM, they have to be really careful about aggressing and committing onto this fight.
She's under the Terrorblade. Storm, think about going in. They did surprise the Tide there with the break and the Hex, and that's why this fight went so well for TSM, making sure that the Ravage doesn't get used. But now the Ravage is still up, and Aster, I'd say that they're still gonna be fine with that one. They still didn't lose the gem. I feel like it was on Samael. No? Actually, I don't see no gem at the moment.
Oh, they're going to try and go for this one. They get the lockdown with the Dream Coil. Do they have enough damage? The Blinding Light comes out. The Black Line jump comes through from Samael, though. He's trying to get himself onto Ari. And do they have enough damage to get the kill on Rubik? The Rubik's getting pretty darn low. And Ari, he's going to be the gem on the deck here. Samael, though, will be taken down in revenge. Ravage gets thrown out. Great committing onto the two goals here. And they're going to be able to get all three heroes. Ari, yes, he takes down 3. Broodmother is going to be 4, it looks like. And only the puck to live behind that twin gate, trying to get himself down towards this bottom lane. Just in time for Roshan to respawn here. That was a great fight for Aster.
Samael reeled them in, but not with the electric vortex, but with his life. He just jumped in. He gave his life so that they would stay together around him. The second that XSS came in with the Ravage, it was apparent that this fight is over and the game is completely in favor of Aster now.
Yeah, and this is going to be a refresher shot on the Roche as well. So do you want to go for the double Ravage?
Yes.
Double finger?
Double finger? Why would you ever go for double Ravage and you win the fight? Let's go.
So you get double finger guns. Pew pew. you know, just give him the old finger guns. But yeah, double Ravage. So 96 seconds before Ravage is back up, and now with TSM being on the back foot, they've got this Aegis onto Monet now as well. Obviously, the Storm Spirit being dead wasn't able to pick it up. How easy is it for Aster to try and take these tier 2 towers and maybe try and breach the high ground of TSM?
The idea is now that Monet needs to be posturing aggressively. You have the heart, you have the butterfly, you have the Aegis. You're very, very, very hard to kill. So you just want to be forcing them to focus on you while maybe one of your teammates are pushing out the side lanes. And then if you see people around you, you probably know that you're not going to go down. Even if you're in a 4 versus 5 scenario, you push out the waves and then you go for fair fights right now. Aster, even if they are fighting TSM in a bit of a worse position, it's not going to be a problem for them with how strong the PL is.
Ryle was trying to get sneaky in the trees there, but the Spirit Lance bounces through from Monet right to him backline, so they do get a lot of lockdown. Do they have the kill onto Kaka? They might be able to get the kill onto Pichu. Does he go down? He's surviving for a little bit longer, but now they finally do get the kill. Whitemon will go down in return, but they take down the Tide. It doesn't look like he was able to use that refresher, so didn't go for the second Ravage. And Kaka trying to move himself away from this. Sumail wasn't in this fight. He'd moved himself down to the bottom lane, and now the chase down. They get the kill onto the line as well. This is going to be big here, as they might be able to get themselves onto Monet. Monet's getting dealt with, but he's still going to get himself that hard, like you say, the Aegis, and Kasani couldn't get himself away from this one, so the PL pretty much clean up. The BKB comes out from Sumail. Sumail eats his cheese, and they might be able to get the kill. They do. They take down Tomato on the TB, and Sumail, well, this is going to be two big calls. Sumail gets in these fights, and all of a sudden it turns on its head, even with both supports being dead.
Yeah, TSM found a perfect angle to find the supports, but it's just not enough because the PL can stay alive for so long, and that was a beautiful play for Sumail. He knows having the cheese, he can go into the backlines, keep the Terrorblade away from the PL. If the Terrorblade is not smashing into the PL when he's stunned, there's no way that the rest of the heroes of TSM are going to be able to kill Monet.
Oh, and look at this now. They're going to be able to go into the high ground. Are they going to try and force out buybacks from TSM? Because these two big cores here, same second on the respawn, 40 seconds on the clock here, and it might even be a tier 3 tower. Does Monet want to go for more now as well? Throws that Spirit Lance in, but Bryle going to be able to get the phase shift off. And yeah, this tier 3 tower, it should go down 30 seconds until these two heroes are back up. Bruno the buys back though. Do they want to go for it? Because XXS going to be able to walk himself in. Has that Ravage? He's going to be able to pop it out. He gets 2 kills. They're going to be able to get more out of this as he dive comes through onto Ari.
That's another
and it looks
one.
like the double Ravage. They take down Kasani. That's going to be the dieback, and this should be game number 1 going the way of Aster, because I don't think Tomato, even on the Terrorblade, as strong as he is, will be able to 1v5 up against the side of Team Aster.
1 versus 300 to be honest, because there's so many of these PLs, and yeah, he does have 2 lives as his buyback is ready, so maybe he can try to make something happen. You definitely feel super bad about losing this game.
Yeah, they were in control for, what, 2/3, 3/4 of this game, and then one good fight for Aster into the Roche pit just seemed to swing it round back in their favor, and all of a sudden, the buyback's coming out. They took another couple of fights, and then it's game over.
Yeah, I mean, Aster did everything right after the laning stage. The way that they dodged, the way that they fought that fight on the bottom lane that they took that went 2 for 2. If they executed just a little bit better, would have been even worse for TSM. But overall, the thing is that TSM, and this is something that I see from teams quite a lot, you have one thing that your lineup is very good at, and that's shoving in the waves and catching people and then killing them one by one. And the second that you get stronger than the enemy team, you're like, okay, we can team fight. No, you cannot. The Ravage is too strong of a spell, and you're gonna lose to it all the time. And TSM, they just forced a little bit too much. Aster, they caught them, and ultimately they got the victory.
Yeah, and you can see that even on the kills here, it was still Team Aster in favor. TSM was still in the lead. Take a look at we can see on the screen that Monet got himself 11 kills in the end. And yeah, Aster, just a really good comeback for them. Held their nerve all the way through, held the high ground. It wasn't able to be breached by TSM, and all of a sudden, big swing back. So TSM, what do they need to be doing to get themselves back on it in the second game?
They did everything right. They had the game in their hands. I think this approach to having very strong laning supports and going from there is probably a good thing for them. Bryle has proven time and time again that even if he loses the laning phase, he can find impact in the game. He did so as well. So in terms of drafting, I don't think they should change much. Maybe you can use these 5 to 10 minutes to just shrug it off. Say, guys, let's not go for team fights unless we're 100% certain that we're going to win them with these non-team fight lineups, and just go from there. If that's the only thing they change in the same game with the same start, I think TSM could get the victory.
Okay, well, we'll see how it is going to go after this break because TSM, they don't want to take up a loss, so they're going to try and go for the draw, but Team Aster put themselves in a comfortable position to get their second win on the board, and we'll find out how it's going to go after this break. Welcome back in, everybody, to the second game of TSM versus Aster. TSM, it was looking really comfortable to them, but after the PL got the heart out, got a couple of items, he was able to take a really good fight. Aster and TSM just couldn't stand their ground. And Hurry, you said that they did everything well in that first game, TSM, and Aster, with that last fight, were able to turn it on the heads. Was it inevitable, that fight, or with the power spike from the PL, or was it just a good catch from Aster?
Actually, they did everything well up until the point where they felt like they could fight at a 7k goal lead, right? That's where it changed, right? So they were doing everything right. They were dodging fights. They got the Roche, and then they're like, yeah, we are strong. We can fight into the Ravage. No, you can't. You're walking up the high ground to a team that could never find a place to fight at unless you give it to them, and you give them the one play that they're hoping for. So that's, TSM, we're looking at only what their heroes can do, which is they play them perfectly, but they didn't really put into account that Aster's heroes can be quite dangerous. And then once the PL got strong enough, when he got strong enough to stay outside of the base and stay alive long enough for his other cores to join him if he does get gone on, that's where the game became impossible for TSM.
Yeah, and how do you, or how would you rather than play around it? Like, because the in that fight, I guess it was the fight that around the Roche pit, it went long enough that the Tide Hunter could respawn, right? Would you rather them get those pickoffs and then back themselves away and give up that Roche? Or was it the right thing to do to carry on fighting around that? And maybe they just got unlucky that they weren't able to take down the Tide before he got that Ravage off in the second fight.
Oh, that was, it was... At that point, you are stuck. You have nowhere to go but to fight your way through it. I think the biggest problem I saw in that fight in particular for TSM, because they set it up perfectly, is that they were chasing a arcane rune storm. Like, I have no idea why they did that. They were just chasing after some male with a couple of heroes there going to the right, instead of focusing on maybe not killing the PL, but saving as many heroes that they can from the PL, and then it might have been a different story, but who knows? I mean, in terms of setup and in terms of how the fight started, it could have gone better for TSM. It's just that the buybacks from Aster came into play.
Yeah, and we'll see. We'll be able to get ourselves into the draft soon to see how the second one's going to go. Any predictions on heroes? We're still going to see the Timbersaw bans. We're going to be seeing the bans coming out for the Broodmother maybe this time, do you think?
I just want to see a Drow. That's the only thing, right? I want to see Aster playing the Drow, showing us why they ranked this hero so highly. In the Bally Major, they had a couple of good Drow games, but yeah, considering that they got eliminated early, I mean, they obviously it wasn't working out that well for them, at least in the playoffs.
No, and we'll see, like you say, if they want to go for it here in this draft. TSM, they're going to have second picks, so they ban out the Medusa. The Chen's going to be taken away from Aster once again, so not going to be seeing that one again today. They take out the Wisp, and yeah, TSM looked great with both of those heroes, but this time they take away the Storm Spirit, so no first pick here for Team Aster on that, and we'll see where they want to go first. Just straight up Ember right now?
Timber.
Timber, okay.
Timber. Like the Pitbull song.
Yes.
10 seconds remaining.
You don't know which
That's
one.
It's not my kind of music. No.
I don't know. It's that's a cool song. We'll listen to it. Anyways, though, I do think Timber is the right one. Sumail is definitely the type of player that can play it. The next success is also a pretty good Timber player. So I don't see a reason why not to pick it up.
Well, they're going to go into the reserve time straight away to think about whether they do want to right off the bat. I mean, if you're picking it up first, which they're going to go for the Snapfire.
Which they're not. That's an interesting one, I have to say. I wasn't expecting a Snap. I was thinking like Timber, maybe a Beastmaster. Snapfire is an interesting one for me. For TSM, though, I'm not going to say that I'm surprised by the Brood, because that's just something that they want to play, it seems.
I'm a little surprised it was picked into a Snapfire.
I mean, the Brood doesn't care about her babies, right? It's a completely different approach in the spider species than it is in humans, right? You don't care that they're gonna kill your offspring, so you're actually fine with that.
I was just thinking, maybe the cookie chase to get the stun, even if she's trying to get away on the webs, and then the slowdown from the scatter blast. Like, I suppose it's whether it's going to be a core Snapfire, or whether it's going to be a support Snapfire. To me, you know, you drop those Mortimer kisses on him as well,
TSM
and now he can't get away because the
Okay.
Mars Arena just keeps him locked in like a giant
Yeah,
cup.
that's a good one versus the Brood, right? You can't really get away from it, and that's where you're gonna be smacked down. The way that I personally would deal with spiders, put them in a cage and then burn them down, and that's exactly what Aster is going for with the Mars and the Snapfire. I like it. I really do like this kind of approach. Not like okay, it's super strong in the current meta, but
Yeah.
just because we have seen a lot of aura builders and stuff like that, Team Aster is going for jump, right? Mars jumps in, Snapfire destroys someone. There's a lot of kill potential between these two in the lane. They don't know what they're gonna be going up against if this is the 4 and 3, which is most likely gonna be the case. But whatever it is, you always have kill potential with these two.
How detrimental would it be to the rest of the team, though, if this Mars is going to go straight for the Blink Dagger, where we're usually seeing the offlaners rush those kind of aura items? Or does it depend on what the rest of the team acid draft is going to be here?
Depends on the rest of the team, and also depends on how well the game starts, right? If it's going super well, you want to get the blink so that you get more advantage. If it's going super badly, you want to get the blink as well so that you change things up. Only somewhere in the middle, if you're being like strong in the lane but the enemies are farming as well, then you might go for some kind of auras. But I would assume with the way that XXS played the previous game that we are going to be seeing a blink dagger relatively early in this game.
Do you go back for the auras afterwards, or does the Mars just want to go straight into that BKB? Because if he does want to get aggressive with the Blink Dagger, you know, do you want to keep yourself alive through that BKB, the Arena of the Spear to come through, or does he go back for the aura items?
We still don't see the other heroes of TSM, so it's very hard to say. But
Yeah.
you know, it depends. If a pipe is really good, it is an item that you usually don't want to skip unless there's somebody else that is going to be making it.
5 seconds remaining.
Okay. And we'll see what TSM. I mean, TSM, they ban out the Monkey King here as well as the Naga Siren. Phantom Lancer as well as the Bloodseeker Undying being taken away by the side of Team Aster. So TSM, what is their final ban going to be? Just coming through some reserve time to think about it, and then obviously the next pick in the first phase, and the first pick in the next phase, excuse me, as well.
Yeah, it's they're protecting the Brood, right? Monkey
Yeah.
King, Naga Siren, they lane well versus the Brood. Another hero is the Slark, which can be good versus the Brood, but I think when you have the Rubik, that generally you're not afraid of the type of hero like a Slark, unless he has a lot of heals and no Chen, no Undying, no IO. I don't really see anybody else that's really going to be healing up the Slark in the laning phase.
Okay. And do you think this is going to be the Kasani Broodmiller again? Definitely. You know, because you don't really want to play the Brood into the Mars at all, right?
Probably not. So I would assume that it is going to be Kasane on the hero. I'm sure that Tomato can play it, but Broodmother Rubik already seems like a really formidable lane against almost anything.
Okay. Well, we are going to be, again, TSM just burning through this reserve time to think about this next ban, about the next phase of play as well. I mean, I think they did this in the last game in the ban phase, which brought them down to about 7 seconds, which is why they missed that final ban. And I wonder if maybe a strat just to let a couple more heroes through.
If you don't mess up at this point in the draft, you're gonna have a huge advantage on your 4th and 5th pick in the later portions of the draft. It's just how it goes, right? So this is the most important part of the draft when you do have the 2nd pick. So it only makes sense that you're gonna be using the most of your resource time because it's a ban into a pick, and they do get rid of the Slark in the end.
Okay, and we'll see what they want to go for. What's left for them? I say what's left. I mean, they ban out a few carries here. The Medusa Go and the Monkey King Slark, Naga Siren, Phantom Lancer, Bloodseeker. They could go back for. Do you reckon we might see another Faceless Void?
I think most likely TSM are going to be picking up a support right now, not trying to reveal too much. Ideally, it should be a strong laner. For their side, right? Something that's not gonna die to the Snapfire and the Mars that can poke on them. So something tanky comes to mind. That's why the Undying was banned out, because, well, he is one of those that is gonna be surviving for a very long time. And they go for the Elder Titan. It's kind of the same idea. And it is something that Whitemon does play.
Yeah, being able to run down players as well with your giant stapler and just whack them to death after you get that Astral Spirit out and back to you. How do you... I mean, you have some control coming out with the Snapfire slow, the Mars Spear as well to push him away, but how do you try and deal with this hero in the lane?
With the Titan, I mean, he comes close. The Snapfire Scatter Blast also slows down your attack speed, so you do have ways to get him out, right? So he goes with the Spirit, starts running in. You have the Spear, you have the God's Rebuke, you have the Scatter Blast. You have many ways to actually slow him down, so it's not going to be that big of an issue. It's more so that TSM wanted a hero that's going to be able to survive through it.
Oh, damn, we're seeing a Pugna. The Faceless Void comes out for Aster here as well, so we are going to see some good Chronospheres. I mean, that's a tricky one to play into, right? The Elder Titan's already, so the Split Earth's available. You've got the Telekinesis on the Rubik. Silken Bowler for the Mischance as well on the Broodmother. So it's an interesting pick, the Faceless Void from Aster. Whether it was just a block pick, maybe thinking TSM were going to go towards that one.
I think the Team Aster are going for we're gonna have the stronger late game and team fight, and we feel confident in our ability to get there during the game. Now from these two games that we have casted here versus TSM, I'm getting that kind of a vibe that they are coming into the series with that kind of an approach. Morphling nerfed to the ground, but still a good hero versus the Faceless Void. Lanes really well with the Elder Titan, good versus the Pugna, good versus the Mars. I mean, there were so many good Morphling games today, and people just don't want to pick it because it's been nerfed. But I mean, it doesn't get much better than this.
No, it's not as bad, right? Because it's not a universal hero that you want to be pulling the Ag Scepter on. Do you even still go for the Ag Scepter? You reckon we're going to see any of the old E-Blade builds ever again?
No, E-Blade probably not. But I would be down for an Axe. I still think turning into the Faceless Void is a big deal because you get the extra mobility, and taking away that attack speed is still going to be nice.
Yeah, still really nice against the Faceless Void, like you say. So we'll see. And obviously, TSM, it's a nice comfort pick to them. They're not ready to give the hero up altogether just yet. Aster banning out the puck. I wonder if we're going to see Bryle win a lane today. Did he win the second game versus Execration?
I think he won one lane versus Execration. Yeah, he did when he was the Lesh. Or
Against
at
the Queen
least
of Pain.
he was,
Well, yeah.
no, he actually died, and then he got back with the stack. So yeah, in terms of winning the lane, yeah, I think he was always a little bit on the back foot.
Yeah,
He does have last pick now.
Ooh, are they thinking it's going to be a mid Snapfire then if they're taking away the Lion?
Yep. Maybe they're thinking it's going to be a mid Pugna. It's not out of the question. Samael can play this type of hero, and imagine a Dagon Pugna going and zapping your Morphling to death. That would be really funny to see.
It wouldn't be great for the Morph, no. It would be pretty annoying. And like the offensive drain, it's still as effective, right? It's just like the redrain into your teammates that got a bit of a kicking.
I mean, when I look at this game, I don't see much value in a support Pugna. Right?
Yeah.
There's no one really to give HP to, no one really that is lacking mana. So in my mind, a core Pugna makes a ton of sense. You have a Faceless Void, you have a Mars, you have a Snapfire. There's a lot of lockdown. It's gonna help you push towers. And when you look at Broodmother, Rubik, Elder Titan, Morphling, none of these heroes have a ton of HP. So bursting them down is a possibility.
Okay, and TSM, they got close to losing out on that final ban once again. Got down to the last second on reserve time.
They banned out the two burst heroes that would go really well with the Mars, but I'm not gonna be too happy now because we're not gonna be seeing a core Pugna. It will be a Queen of Pain. It is still a burst type hero, but it does give some possibilities for TSM. You know, if you really want to win a lane, get something like a Dragon Knight. It's definitely gonna help.
And we'll see. I mean, they've got only a few seconds to think about this one. Respond to the Queen of Pain pickup. So we'll see where TSM want to go with this one. 3 seconds left. It's going to be... Yeah, straight up Dragon Knight. Good call. Golf clap. Golf clap.
Yep. I thought I was gonna be getting a better clap from you, but okay. I guess I didn't deserve any better. I mean, the idea here is that you just want to be able to stand your ground versus the Queen of Pain. And Samael, he really needs some upgrade there on the cosmetics on the Queen of Pain because that looks really bad.
Yeah, that isn't the old Arcana into like the new dress that came out in the last TI chest, and maybe he's good with the classics. You know, maybe he's happy with what he's got.
Dude, the Dragon Knight has such a beautiful shining armor, and then you have this Queen of Pain that when she sees herself in that shining armor, she's probably gonna be feeling embarrassed.
Gonna be doing mental damage to her. Like,
Yep.
yeah, okay. That's fair enough. Well, we'll see how it's actually gonna go in the lane. Do you think the Dragon Knight gets into a position where he can win the lane against the Queen of Pain, or is it just an even trade in that lane?
He always wins, just slightly in terms of CS. You cannot really harass him out, so sometimes the queens won't even take a point in the Shadow Strike, max out the Scream, and make sure that you can farm the jungle faster once the time does come.
Okay, well, we've got our two teams on the board, Hurry, for the, well, I guess the final time today. What are your preferences coming into this game?
Tough one to say. I think I am gonna be going for Aster again. I think their team fight is super powerful, and when I look at TSM, I'm not sure if they can end the game fast enough. They have strong lanes, but the thing is that they do not have pick-off, right? And you don't really want to be staying two together with your team. So once the Mars gets a blink, the catch potential for Aster will be quite nice. So if TSM can get that early lead like in the previous one and just storm down Aster like they wanted in the previous game, they can definitely do it here. But I think the second that they start splitting apart, that Aster is gonna rip them apart.
Okay, well, we'll see how it's going to go here in the second game between Aster versus TSM, whether Aster can bring that momentum back into this game, or TSM, if they're going to fight back. We're going to see the 5-man smoke coming out, but it looks like it's just for wards. You know, we see the items once again, all of the magic wands, all of the branches coming out, and you're going to be seeing, oh, excuse me, magic sticks, and we'll be seeing some quick ones here. So, I mean, it seems like every game today, this has been like the starting build for most heroes. Just straight up branches, sticks, and then go from there.
It's all about the stats. That's how Dota works right now. You want the stats. You want to be able to get that early CS. You're just bringing out region later on, so you don't really need it. You're just gonna be seeing a ton of iron branches, circlets, and items like that.
And do you think that? I mean, the build-up-wise, item-wise, does it allow for the sustain in the lane? But do you think it, offers the aggression that we really want to be seeing as Dota fans?
Well, no. That's where we're gonna be looking at blood grenades. Those are the items that we want to see, and we do have a couple there on the supports.
Yeah, we're going to see Kaka chasing down onto the Tomato now as well, just trying to get those right clicks off onto the Morphling before he gets underneath the tier 1 tower. He's going to be able to go for the full Agimorph as well here, just heal himself back up. And for the most part, not looking too bad for Tomato. You're back to pretty much full health. No great shakes there for him. In the middle lane, Sumail up against Bryle. You talked about it, the Queen of Pain, not really going to have a good time against the Dragon Knight. So are you expecting quick rotations for Sumail?
This is the thing. I think you want to stay in the lane until minute 10 and hope that Kaka gets his level 6. I think Kaka, because he's playing versus the Dragon Knight in this game in particular, he needs to put more emphasis on his experience than he did in the previous one. His level 6 was late in the previous game, and now he should have it just so that they can threaten the Dragon Knight and not lose that mid lane tower super early.
Okay, well, we'll see how it's going to go. Bryle coming through with the Breathe Fire. Top lane, we'll see what Kaka is going to be able to play around here with the help of XXS, whether they're going to be able to go for some easy early kills, cookies into the spears and trees, and Scatter Blast to follow up here. But Whitemon, he's not getting shy about just coming forward and hitting Kaka in the face again with his giant briefcase here. And it looks like Kaka at least going to back himself away for a little bit, just trying to play the damage at range.
Oh, he has the big hand, like Bugs Bunny. When you know that episode, Bugs Bunny, when he's like, in poker, who has the biggest hand wins, and then he just inflates his glove. Does this mean I win, Doc? That's what this always reminds me of.
And yeah, how do you play around this one? I mean, we talked about the slows down coming through, but Whitemon specifically, does he just want to be running at the heroes every chance he gets when he gets those Astral Spirits back?
Yeah, you want to be going in, you force them to use their spells, or at least push you out, and you create space for your Morphling to farm. That's the whole plan to the lane. But they're ignoring him and they're just smacking down Tomato.
I mean, Bryle in the mid lane as well has got to be careful here. Sumail did go for the 2 points into the Shadow Strike, so the Dragon Knight being whittled away just a little bit here by Sumail in the mid lane. Bottom lane, yeah, Ari's going to take one of those Nether Blasts to the face. And gotta be careful about the right clicks coming through here, because Pichu's not shy about getting up into Ari now as well. But Ari obviously gonna be able to use that telekinesis to fade bot as well. If he gets him low enough, I mean, Pichu just has to play close to that tier 1 tower just to make sure he doesn't get burst down and a silken ball that comes in to finish him off as well.
Overall, I don't think there's much chances that happens. Pugna is a very fast hero, and Pichu really needs to step out to go down.
I always forget that Pugna's got 330 movement speed right off the bat. Like, you wouldn't have thought he was one of the, if not the fastest tier hero in the game. Whitemon, though, he might go down in the top lane just to get himself away from this one to try and play at a distance. He won't be able to get the stomp off here, Whitemon. He might go down. The Gosby comes out, but Whitemon, he's going to be able to walk himself up to the high ground here, and Kaka's looking pretty darn low, but Tomato doesn't want to get aggressive onto the Snapfire. Snap trying to look towards the Lotus, but Tomato, he's heads up. He'll be able to get himself over and take that away from Kaka first.
Yeah, Whitemon did his job. He got all the hate onto himself, forced enemies to use their mana, to use their resources to try to kill him, and he survived. He had the healing salve, so he's back up to almost full, and he can continue doing the same thing again and again.
Yeah. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, actually the Queen of Pain having a good time here. 15-7 in terms of last hits and denies, and the Dragon Knight only 13 last hits, 14 last hits now, but no denies on the DK.
Yeah, I'm very surprised that it did go this way. There's also a lot of creeps going under the tower of the Queen of Pain, so Samael actually did apply a lot of pressure. He went for the 2 points in the Shadow Strike, and Bryle, he just didn't have the HP. He got pushed out there for a second. A couple of first waves he did well, but when Samael zoned him out from 1 or 2 waves, that created the difference here, and quite a huge one.
Yeah, do you think the, take a look at the bottom lane here, looks like Pichu being chased down. Kasani just needs one more right click, will be able to get the kill onto him. Nether Blast will come out here. Kasani taking tower shots, but will be able to move himself away. And level 3 now on the Brood. So, 2 points in the spin webs, 1 into the Silken Ball, and yeah, was always going to be able to run down that Pugner, it seems like.
Yeah, I mean, it's a kill I didn't expect to happen, but they did use a lot of time to get him down, so that does allow Monet to just farm as much as he wants.
How's it? Yeah, so back in the mid lane, Samael going for that second point in the Shadow Strike. The sustain coming out from that. Do you think that's the difference maker in this lane up against the Dragon Knight?
It was. Now it's not going to be a difference maker any longer, but the damage is already done. You won the lane as a queen.
Yeah, and now they're going to be able to get the kill on Tomato on the top lane there as well. Kaka was the one that got the kill credit, but a great step up there as well. It seems like, apart from that death on Pichu in the bottom lane, these lanes fairly comfortable for Aster.
It's going awesome for them. Like, they're farming super well on every one of their heroes. Of course, their cores are very good at last hitting. Mars, great animation. Faces Void, great animation. Queen of Pain does have a decent one as well, but I'd say that skill-wise, Samael was tested the most here, and he passed with flying colors.
Yeah, and looking at the DK's build, the 3 points into the Dragon's Blood, do you think that's kind of where maybe Samael's been able to pull it out, because there's, you know, maybe a couple more points in the Dragon's Breath to get aggressive onto Samael, or is it just, you know, the build doesn't matter, it was just the skill of Samael, as we do see 2 kills on the bottom lane here.
Yep, the support's going down. Monet getting solo experience there, so this Faceless Void is gonna be super happy with this, meaning that, well, he might even be able to kill the Brood once the time comes, or maybe even now if he continues with these bashes.
Yeah, he gets the time walk off, got low there as well, both heroes here. Insatiable Hunger comes out from Kasane for some sustain in the mid lane though. Bryle, he's going to be chased down. Do they have enough damage? The Stomp comes out. They've got that protection, but the Nether Blast won't be enough to get the kill onto the Dragon Knight. The Dragon Knight still running himself away. Samael, level 6, 1 point into the Blink, but won't fall up there with a Scream afterwards, and the Dragon Knight will at least be able to stand underneath the tier 1 tower for that regen.
Oh, this is huge, because they got him low just before he got his ulti, so he's gonna be needing some time before he feels confident to actually go for the push and do some damage to the tower. This is pretty big. You know, you use the dragon form right now, but it doesn't matter because the tower itself isn't gonna be taking any damage at all.
No, and Samael, you can see just trying to trade off the damage right back onto him as well with the Screams, the Shadow Strikes. Meanwhile, bottom lane, I mean, Kasane, he does have that insatiable hunger if he gets low, coming up in 2 seconds now, but the bashes from Monet, they've been on point. It feels like he's got an active button there to get those bashes off, and Baseless, given as good as he gets in this lane up against the Spider.
Knows how to play the Faceless Void. That's it. If you cannot bash, don't pick this hero, Monet. Yeah. He definitely knows what he's doing, and you buy the Arcana, of course, it increases your bash chance.
Of course. And he's got that level 6, so the Chronosphere is up as well. You've got the rotation come through. I mean, he's only level 3. I thought he was level 4, but yeah, only level 3 on the Pugna, so no drains coming out, no life drains. But still, you can throw a couple Nether Blasts in there, and Kasane has to be really careful about being caught out here.
And they're coming in with the supports. They have the Chrono. This time around, he's not getting out.
No, there is going to be the rotation in from Ari, though. Telekinesis comes through. Did have the damage to get the kill? They do. And it is actually going to go the way of Pichu here with those Nether Blasts to get the kill onto the Spider. And the rotation coming out from Whitemon. Not going to be enough to save his life here, Kasane. So he will go down against the Faceless.
Even with that kill and with a lot of CS that Faceless Void has gotten, he's not that far ahead of the Broodmother. So all in all, Kasane did have a good time in the lane. Nowhere close to what happened in the previous game, but it's still a nice start.
Well, they might try and play around these runes, though. It looks like it didn't actually spawn here. Kaka's going to get pretty darn low. Does he get himself away? Telekinesis comes out onto the Snapfire, but do they have enough to get the kill? They should do after the fact. No, the Sonic Wave, and Kaka's still alive. They're going to be able to go for this one. Sumail, he gets the kill to Ari. Can they go for any more? It looks like Pichu's going to be out of mana, and Kaka just denies himself to the stack.
He survived through all of that. The crap came out at a perfect timing, and Kasane just solo killed Monet.
Yeah, that's pretty big. I was watching the blink in here, and yeah, the damage coming through. He was just able to get the kill on the Faceless Void and Faceless. Even using the Time Walk, he wasn't able to get himself out of range of the wrath of the Broodmother.
Yeah, only 1 point in the Time Walk. He wanted more damage, so that means once the Broodmother gets level 6, your ability to stand in that lane is non-existent.
Yeah, and now Bryle, he's got that Dragon Form going. Does he actually want to go onto this one? They've got that Stomp to follow up. Sumail, does he want to go for the Blink here? 2 supports, backing up. Even the Mars rotating in. Sumail, Shadow Strike to slow down onto the Dragon Knight. Do they want to go for any more on this Telekinesis, though? He's bounced forward by the Cookie. There is going to be the Arena coming through, but it only catches onto the Rubik. And now the Nether Blast. Hurry, he will go down.
Man, do I love when players play with no hesitation. He decided that somebody was dying, and like there is no way that I'm getting out of this without a kill.
Oh, Sumail, he might even be able to get the kill onto Whitemon now. The spear comes out. Whitemon's going to be stopped in his tracks, and yeah, he will go down. Sumail even gets a bounty rune here to refill his bottle.
Yep, that is the thing. Anytime we see the Dragon form, the Dragon Knight, considering the Sumail won that mid lane, there's nothing you can do. Bryle is just not that tanky, or not tanky enough to stand his ground, and Aster are utilizing it. At least TSM are making sure that their side lanes are farming well, and their Dragon Knight is not dying, but Kasane will be coming over to the mid lane to assist.
Yeah, did they get the kill here? There's going to be the Dragon's Breath onto Pichu now as well. He drops that Nether Ward. 3 heroes though close to this tier 1 tower. Sumail, is he going to be able to defend this one? Has that Sonic Wave up in 2 seconds. It will cost him pretty much all of his mana unless he wants to pop the bottle as well as the clarity here. So Bryle with the Dragon form trying to do what he can onto the tier 1 tower. Is it going to be enough to get the kill onto the tier 1 though, or will Sumail try and contest this?
With Kasane being in the vicinity and sending in spiders, this tower should be going down. You don't have the resources necessary to defend it, and Kaka is not level 6 just yet, so without the Mortimer's Kisses you cannot threaten this.
Yeah, the tower will be taken. The Dragon Knight should be able to, with the help of the rest of his team, to just take it down. Takes pressure off the rest of the map though. The Faceless Void playing himself in the jungle, it looks like, close to the tier 2 tower, so not even farming the wave there. Maybe just the fear of God put into him by that Broodmother getting that solo kill against Monet.
So usually the mid lane tower falling for a Dragon Knight means that you want to blink to go for kills. But okay, speaking of the Dragon Knight, yeah, he's the one that's gonna die now. But the thing is that he looks at his other heroes and is like, okay, you guys don't contribute to my damage whatsoever. So he just wants to go for the Midas. They understand this is gonna be a game that is taken late, so he's gearing up for it. And Dragon Knight can be quite a formidable foe when it comes to the later portions of the game.
And while this is all going on, we've got Tomato. I mean, Ari, he's looking for the stacks. He is just looking to get the pull through. But Tomato's just been getting free farm while this is going on. So net worth-wise, second on the table. Kaka will see him, but Morphlin just shrugs it off. He's even got himself the Morbid Mask now as well. So Morphlin has that heal in the back. Oh,
he's fine. The Rubik is there just to make sure that there's no decrep TP. That's the only thing that he's doing there. Really, Kasane, yeah. He's having a really good time on this Broodmother and going for a pipe. He wants to make sure that his teammates stay alive, and it does make a lot of sense because when you look at Aster, other than the Sonic Wave, everything else is magical damage.
They're going to be able to get the Dragon Tail out now. Mid lane though, Brow, does he want to try and step up against this 2v1? It looks like, nope, he just plays it safe, backed himself towards his Rubik, back towards that tier 1 tower. And Sumail, at least, I mean, he's lost the tower. He's still finding the farm. Net worth-wise, he's going to be, what, 5th on the board? A couple of hundred behind the Mars, a couple of hundred behind the Faceless Void as well. And Mars has that arena back up, going straight towards that Blink. In fact, he's going to have it off this wave, it looks like.
Oh, Aster wanted to stop this laning phase. Literally, it's a 13-minute laning phase, and they want to stop it somehow. The best way to do it is for the Broodmother to die, and then TSM won't have the info. But killing him without the arena is impossible. They need to get on top of him, and only now is the Blink Dagger being delivered. Okay, he walks into it.
Yeah, he gets baited in by that bounty rune. He's going to be killed off. 4 heroes around there from the side of Aster. We're able to stack up, get the kill, and Broodmother, absolutely no chance of getting away. Meanwhile, what's going on though? Mufflin looks like he's going to be able to get a solo kill onto Kaka in the top lane.
Yeah, he uses those spells better than Kaka himself, so Timato gets a solo one. Aster, though, getting this Blink Dagger on the Mars will finally be able to break out the laning phase. You're seeing how TSM are playing. Literally, Dragonite in the mid lane, Morphling on top, and Broodmother on the bottom lane, and that's it. And they just want to extend it until they get to their timing, which is probably going to be around 25 minutes into the game, and then just make sure that Aster don't have enough damage to fight them. So you want to break that apart as fast as you can if you're Aster.
Are you happy to go to everybody else, or do you want to be putting pressure on Tomato on this Morphin, as soon as possible?
The thing is, you can't put pressure on him unless you've opened up other parts of the map. That's the reality currently for Aster, because he's always going to be able to see it coming. You need a lot of commitment to actually bring him down. So it's not that you don't want to kill him; it's just that it's too hard to do so, and just might be time wasting.
Okay, yeah, just looking because he still has that tier 1 tower as well. We even in this part of the game, we're not seeing that tier 1 tower with the Morphin being pressured out. He still feels comfortable farming up here, farming the wave, just dipping into the jungle to accelerate the farm a little bit. And TSM, they're happy to leave him alone.
I mean, it comes down to XXS. We are going to be looking at where he is, where the Mars is. That's where Aster want to go for action, basically.
Okay, and the Chronosphere is going to be back up now as well, so if they want to make a second jump, they could maybe look to group up and make something happen here. TSM, though, playing pretty safe. They're playing under vision, they're playing pretty deep on their side of the map, and yeah, you see the Tomatoes just making his way into the mid lane now. He's trying to find that safe farm towards, the safe solo farm towards where there's a tier 1 tower, just in case he does get gone on, that his teammates can respond.
They bought a blink on the DK. He didn't finish off the Midas, so they want to kill the Faceless Void.
Oh, are they going to be able to find him out though? The tier 1 tower being pressured. Monet, he moves himself away, sees that stack. What's he going towards?
Morphling under vision.
Did he get the jump out? Mars comes in, he's going to be able to get the spear to the tree now. Did he have enough burst damage to get the kill? Where's the damage coming through? Tomato, he's got that strength morph coming out. And it looks like they might just try and turn this one now as they go for the fight here. XXS trying to run himself away. Split Earth will be used. The waveform comes forward again, and XXS, he throws that arena. The multi cases will be dropped now as well into Tomato, but Tomato, Sonic Wave right back through on everybody. The Chronosphere comes back. Really good drain now as well. The Chronosphere is going to be stolen though. What can he get from this one? Because Monet, he is cleaning up after his own Chronosphere. They're going to be able to get the bash onto the Dragonite. Dragonite's going to go down. And Aster, they lose the Mars for the patience to set up, not to throw that arena straight away, but just to spear into the trees, and they turn that fight. They get 3 away from TSM.
And that ward gave them everything, full vision of behind the tower, and it actually just expired, so it's not like TSM are going to be getting any extra gold for it. And Tomato, he really did respond really well with the attribute shift twice in a row, not being caught by the spear, but it doesn't matter in the end because the side of TSM, they are the ones that don't have damage, and this is why I'm not so sure about this Blink Dagger on the DK. I think Bryle is going to be regretting this choice.
Yeah, and you can see that he's already moving himself down towards this bottom lane, trying to make something happen here, and that's kind of the pressure being put on that, like you say, that he's bought it, and now he needs to kind of make the purchase worth it. And you can see that they are trying to get aggressive, like you say, pushing out, but not going to be able to find anyone.
Yeah, now he put a pressure onto himself, right? Especially with that last fight going badly. You're constantly going to be thinking, we need to get a kill, we need to get a kill, we need to get a kill. And that could turn out for you making a couple of mistakes, and you definitely don't want that to happen.
Yeah, you can see that they tried to get the jump on the Queen of Pain, but Ari wasn't there in time to follow up after the Dragon Tail, so Sumail just says, yeah, okay, and then blinks and leaves.
Samael is having a pretty nice time here. You know, he crushed the DK in the lane. When we look at this Dragon Knight, I don't know if he's ever gonna be core territory in this game any longer. This hero just doesn't farm that fast without the Midas, without his level 12, and guess what? He doesn't have either of those.
No, and that's maybe the thing, that he's going to play that sacrificial mid here, because you have the Broodmother that's doing so well. The Morphlin's not doing too bad either, so Dragonite can kind of slide back into that position 3 effectively and just look to be the opening playmaker. Just to let the Broodmother, I mean, the Broodmother's taking up most of the map anyway in terms of farm and getting so far ahead. Level 11 on him, got that pipe out, going towards a full Guardian's Greaves, it seems like.
Yeah, but that is the issue. The Broodmother is going for aura items. You're versus the Faceless Void. And speaking of the Broodmother, is very much dead.
Oh, Kasane, does he get himself out to Stomp Sleep here? There's going to be the life drain. The Split Earth gets used of the Sonic Wave. Yeah, he is dead. As Samael was able to pick up the kill. Big dive in. Ari trying to get himself away from this one. What was stolen? It's going to be the Shadow Strike. Dragon Tail comes out onto the Queen of Pain, but the Queen of Pain, if he needs it, has that blink away. And now Kaka, the chase down onto the Snapfire.
The Void is rotating again. Yeah, they know it. TSM are aware that he stopped throwing on the top lane. They're like, we are again gonna get 3-man Chrono and just destroy it. But coming back to the point, Broodmother going for the aura items. If the Dragon Knight doesn't have damage output, you Chrono the Morphling, you kill him. Who actually does the damage? And that is the main issue that I have with the Dragon Knight being sacrificial in this game. At least he will finish the Midas right now, so maybe he can start that flash farm.
And you can see that Monet, he's going straight towards the Lincoln Sphere here. Yeah, BKB for the Dragon Knight as well. But Faceless Void, he's nearly got the goal to complete up onto this Lincoln. So it means that he's not going to have that Morph form stolen by... and, you know, he's got the protection for maybe a setup for something like a Dragon Tail there as well. Can you just immediately leave if something like that comes out?
He might decide to skip on the BKB for the time being. I'm not the biggest fan of him skipping the BKB just because you're versus the Echo Stomp, which is something that can be super annoying inside of the Chrono. But other than that, once you do get the Lincolns, you're kind of unkillable.
And we're going to see TSM. They're moving themselves into the Roche pit. I wonder if, I mean, Chronosphere is up now as well. I wonder if Aster have an inkling that this is happening. Maybe look to try and contest this one because the Mars TPing up. Yeah, Samael might fall up now as well, but it looks like they're going to go for a 4-man smoke.
It's taking too long.
They're going to go straight to this pit, and Roshan, he's only down just to about a third of his health here. And if they get a good jump with the Chronosphere, they might be able to catch absolutely everybody. Mars Arena as well. Yeah, they want this one. Monet, he's looking for it. They might see Kasane, but there's going to be... Roshan taken okay. Tomato gets the Aegis if you want to carry on fighting on into this one, though. Looks like the Split Earth. They've got the lockdown onto the Mars. Mars trying to get himself out. XXS. There's going to be the redrain coming through, but Tomato should be able to get the kill. Ari gets it with that Fade Bolt. And now, did he get the kill into Pichu as well? Pichu, again, a little fast skeleton trying to run himself away, but he's going to go for the Nether Form into... No, Telekinesis slows him down, and TSM... Perfect timing actually on the Roche just to be able to take it and then turn and take that fight.
Very nice. Aster was hesitant about jumping in. They didn't know how low it was, and Kasane just comes out. We have seen in the previous fight that it actually takes a lot of time to bring down the Brood, and he understood, okay, I'm going out, I'm going towards the enemies, they're coming for us. He stops the Mars from jumping in, and then the Faceless Void just doesn't have the info of what's happening in the pit, and you just cannot jump in blindly like that.
Yeah, no, I was with you. I thought they were going to get there in time. A big Chronosphere as well in the Roche pit. But yeah, Kasane bought them the time to finish it off, and the arena was used, and they weren't able to even get the kill off that. And they didn't want to commit the Chronosphere onto it either. So, Tomato, does he want to go for this Tormentor? It looks like they do. And I wonder if Aster, no, they're not even moving towards this one. They're just going to give this one up for free.
Perfect one for TSM. It actually puts the Dragon Knight in a situation now with the Midas where he's actually going to be able to become a core. And if the Broodmother can constantly go in, give vision, and actually survive through the damage of Aster, that is going to give the space to Tomato and the DK to position themselves properly inside of a fight. That's a 5k gold swing in a span of a minute because TSM, they're ahead. Yeah,
look at this one as well. TSM, they just want to come straight onto the high ground now as well. They got the push back out now. It's a lot of damage coming out onto the Morphlin, but they can't get the kill, and it feels like, well, it feels like we saw this in the last game here as well, but this time TSM going to play it safe, don't want to commit the entire Aegis into that one, and just looking to push their lanes back out, maybe take down these last couple of tier 2 towers on the side of Aster.
Mata actually made the mistake there. He got speared and he started morphing into agility. I thought that maybe they're going to be able to bring him down, but the cores of Aster weren't in sight, and with the support's damage, it's just not going to be enough.
Yeah, slowly but surely taking away this Tormentor. And Whitemon already got his shard. We'll see who's going to get this one here. Ooh, Whitemon! It was close. But both supports now will be able to get their shards off the Tormentors.
I'm guessing the Dragonite was hoping that he was going to be getting it. Fireball for even more farm. It would have been amazing.
Well, look at this Kaka. He's trying to get those Lotuses out, but the Dragon Tail comes in for the stun. Not even going to be able to clean up that Lotus pool.
He actually locked combining of the Lotuses. Don't know why. I kind of feel like the Great Healing Lotus is better than 3 small ones.
I get it though. So you don't fill up your inventory full of Lotuses. It's just one of those things. Lotuses. The plural of Lotus is actually Lotuses. It's just not a well-known fact.
Okay, that's why we have a British guy here to explain everything to us.
And I will explain that we're going to see the death of Pichu as Bryle was able to claim that kill here. They've got the chase on now as well. In fact, the Soul and Spear, they're going to push back onto XXS. XXS trying to go for the TP out. He just has enough life to get himself out safe.
That was a really nice play from Ari. If he had connected with the spear there, it was just slightly longer onto those crystals. That is a dead Mars.
Yeah. And I mean, Tomato stole the form, but he wasn't able to get it out once the BKB was going. So, yeah, I suppose it wastes the BKB though for the Mars.
Yep, and there's an Aghanim Scepter now done for the Morphling. It's being delivered at the moment, so that's quite huge. Turning into the Faceless Void if he manages to do it. Taking away the attack speed, it is going to be huge, because the Faceless Void, he inside of the Chrono, if he gets taken over, he's just not going to be doing that much damage.
Yeah, and I suppose you've got ways with the Telekinesis, the Silken Ball, or the Dragon Tail. You have ways to break that Lincoln Sphere before the Morph steals the foam.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, even the Morphling himself there, he can do it.
And we'll see the tier 2 tower again being pressured. 57 seconds left on the Aegis. So whether Aster, they've got this timing down and they want to try and contest into this, it doesn't look like it's Samael. He's just trying to push this bottom lane. He's looking, he's got the farm, looking for his next big item here. Looks like it might be the Sanjin Kaya completed. So what does he want to go for after that? Straight into an axe maybe?
BKB or Axe. I'm looking at Heroes of TSM, and I mean, maybe it's better to go for an Axe because it is going to prevent you from losing the game, right? Because you're always going to be able to spam it out if they're coming for the high ground, and then you can get the BKB once you think that you're definitely going to be winning those fights.
Okay. Well, we'll see how it's going to play. 4-man smoke coming out, though. They're looking for the Brood, it looks like. They get the jump out. The arena's going to be there. Did he get the lockdown? They're going to have a lot of damage, but is it enough for the kill here? Kasane, he will pop eventually, and XXS does get that kill tomorrow, though. Wants to be coming in onto the Snapfire. There's going to be the Rotovator, onto the Dragonite. There's going to be a really nice Chrono as well now. But the Spear, the Soul Spear, still throws out the Faceless Void outside of his own Chronosphere. And now TSM, they're going to be able to turn this one around. Pichu gets himself onto the high ground. Sonic Wave comes out onto Bryle. Bryle gets a kill onto Kaka. And it looks like TSM, they just say, this is our base, we're going to take the fight inside of it. And you can see, they get the kill onto Pichu. They might even have the lockdown onto Samael. He gets that blink out. How much more can they do?
They want Bryle dead. And they're... Oh, the miss on the Spear, XXS. Gets a miss there. That was a beautiful double spear from the Ruby. He has the shard, so his spear is going to be connecting onto 2 people. I'm actually very surprised that Tomato wasn't able to bring them down. If they had focused on the Faceless Void, I think he actually would have lost his life, and then it would have been a disastrous fight for Aster. But TSM didn't focus him down, and the Chrono was still there. So other than the Morphling, no one could really come in on the damage. Yeah,
they did force out a buyback though from Pichu. Yep. They've got the Dragon Form still up as well. If you want to try and go, it's only about halfway through. If you want to try and find something from this, in fact, Kaka, the Storm won't connect here, but where's that blinking? Rotovatos, it does come out, but the Dragonite going to be able to get himself in. The Dragon Tail, yeah, even with this to crapify the damage, Kaka, Telekinesis should be taken down.
And Pichu has put himself in a bad position as well.
He needs to be, really careful that he doesn't get a dieback though. As TSM, they just want to go straight onto the high ground. Again, use the last of this Dragon Form here onto the tier 3 tower in the mid lane.
And no glyph. That is the thing, that there's no glyph. This tower, it's gonna go down.
And we'll see just how quickly Tomato. Dragon Form does wear off. Do you just go for the last of the health on the tier 3 tower in the top lane as well?
Oh, you want the Ranger Axes at least. The thing is, it's taking a bit too long now. They know there's no Chrono for at least like 40 seconds, so they want to continue with the push.
They get the blink in. I think they're about to kill. They do. Pichu's dead for 68 seconds. That's a dieback there onto the Pugna. When Ace going to try and come in, Bryle taking a lot of damage. His BKB's up. Sonic Wave did the commit onto the kill here. Bryle, they turn it right back around, and Samael, he's in no man's. He's in trouble. XXS has to throw out that arena. It's going to be the jump forward from Tomato. He's got that form up. He's got the Faceless Void form up. and dives himself forward with the time walk. XXS away with the Bastions coming through here. XXS, do they get the kill? Morphlin's going to be careful here. He's going to try and go to the strength morph. Has to get himself away from this one. The elevators with the root. So he will be able to get himself away with the waveform into that time walk and gets himself out safe.
Man, that Aghanim Scepter on the Morphling jumping in and bashing everybody, it's so annoying to Aster because it's setting up so many possibilities for TSM. You have more time to actually think about how and on who you want to engage when he's bashing everybody.
Yeah, and it's just like you say, he plays the hero better than the Faceless Void's currently playing the hero. Going towards that Satanic, gonna have some extra sustain coming out for him. Brow's got the Dragon Form back up. Going towards a Nullifier on the Dragon Knight and not towards an Ag Scepter of his own.
Samael is going for a Lincoln Sphere. I'm looking at this one and it looks to me like Aster are missing out on the damage. I would really love it if he goes for the Aghanim Scepter. He hasn't bought a single component, meaning that he's maybe still thinking it through. Okay.
He just bought out the recipe there on to be delivered on the courier. Yeah, so he can go to get some farm out on the side lane, go towards the secret shop on the Dire side, and get himself the components if he wants to do it that way.
I'm just not sure about this item. I don't think it changes so much. No, we'll see. We'll see. It still, to me, looks like XXS. He's going to have to do the heavy lifting with this shard. If he gets a double spear, that could be a way to win a fight.
Yeah, meanwhile, on the top part of the map, they're going to be able to get the kill onto Kaka here. Arena, they've got the control onto Whitemon, but do they have enough to get the kill here? Because the pipe has been popped. It looks like the Elder Titan, yeah, XXS actually. He has to be the one to leave here. Pops his BKB, trying to walk himself away. Do they have any more control to come out? As it looks like they're going to let the Mars back onto the high ground because he was in that BKB form, so no way to slow him down, but we still get the kill on the Snapfire.
Pretty cool play from Ari. The second he sees the Snapfire, he just tosses himself in. The second he lifts himself up, Kaka thought, oh, he's running away. Look at this coward. But nope. He's actually just jumping on your face, and with the stolen scatter blast, you actually have no chances of survival.
No, and there is no buyback there on the Snapfire either. It's going to be 8 gold away, so he will have it by the time he's back alive. But looking at the buybacks, only the Mars on the side of Aster and only the Morphin on the side of TSM. Everyone else is buying out for the next big items to try and make something happen in the next fight. Oh, do they get the catch now as well? They have the control, they have the damage. Do they get the kill? The blink away Samael, trying to run himself away, but the telekinesis, they have that one. Even the Split Earth committed, they get the kill onto the Samael. Samael's dead for 60 seconds.
There's so many things to break the Lincolns, so I'm just not seeing that much value in the item. I can understand it for the Faceless Void, but if it does come down to a fight, the Queen of Pain uses the Sonic Wave, and after that the damage output, it's not gonna be as high as you would want.
No, and you've got the Morphin that took the Queen of Pain's form there as well, so he's got that the blink and the silence that comes out from that. I think the Rubik stole it as well. So yeah, both of these heroes, it's two. I mean, I don't know how far forward the Rubik wants to jump, but has the ability to get that silence off on 2 heroes. Well, the Queen of Pain form will wear off on the Morphin, but still a big steal if he can get it again.
Oh, this is huge with Rubik having the blink. He has the shard, so the Sonic Boom is there. You jump in, you silence everybody. There's no BKBs other than the Mars currently on the side of Aster, so it really is. It could be a game-changing steal.
And yeah, the Morphin is going to be close to the Satanic, so he's going to be able to do the same, blink in and get that damage sustain off here. Morphin. I mean, Roshan's up. Yeah, they might just want to make a beeline towards the pit.
Yeah, I'm looking at Aster and their ability to contest this. Both the mid lane and the bottom lane are pushed in, so I'd assume they wouldn't want to go out of their base, because last time we know what happened, and now it's going to be even tougher to approach the pit than it was.
I don't even think they're going to bother trying to contest into this one here. And yeah, Aster just looking for the next big items on the map, but this is going to be the second Roshan, so we've got Cheese, we've got the Aegis coming out. And it's, if you thought it was hard to take down anyone on TSM before, once you get that Cheese up, it's going to be so much harder. In fact, they might get the catch out. XXS though, nothing to stop this TP.
Yeah, the Earth Splitter could do it, but it just would have taken too much time to charge up.
So, if you're Aster, coming into this game, you were riding high, but now how are you going to be feeling with the control coming out from TSM this late on and 30 minutes in?
I mean, you're not that far behind. This game is not out of your grasp just yet. You just need more items. So delay. Of course, you're not going to be feeling good because you know that winning a fight is super hard and you do have some big team fight spells. But if you do survive a little bit longer, get a damage item, on the Queen of Pain, the BKB on the Faceless Void. You level 20 on the Faceless Void also is huge. You could actually win this game.
Well, we're going to see another Tormentor, it seems like, going the way of the side of TSM. So, Dragon Knight or the Broodmother, let's see who's going to be able to get the next shard. As Tomato, again, Whitemon, just going to be real careful about coming in close onto that one, trying to deal with this Tormentor. And Bryle will get it, so the Fireball eventually comes out for the Dragon.
He will now be pushing out the waves even easier.
They've got the Lincoln's Break here on the Faces Forward now as well. I think that was Form Stone, but the Morph and the Chronosphere does come out. They have that control. Dragon Knight blinks himself in, but the TP away from Monet, and the Chronosphere will last just long enough to get that Faceless Void away safe.
He made a mistake there. He definitely could have blinked away from the chrono there, but he went for the max range blink or over the max range blink, so then you blink less, and he ended up in the chrono.
Yeah, they're going to go for the backstab now as well. Kasani, the smoke comes out. Kaka, he's going to be the sacrificial lamb here. Mars, does he want to try and come into this one? XXS has that TP scroll, but you get the kill onto Kaka. XXS has to blink himself into the trees, look for that TP away safe, and the Storm won't be there in time to stop him.
Nice, fine. Guess what? The Dragon Knight is topping the network chart. You have the Fireball, you have the Midas for 30 minutes. And despite that Blink Dagger that he might have felt, okay, this really didn't do anything for me, he is still the top dog of the game at the moment.
2,000 gold away from having the Black Dragon form as well. So having the flying movement, having the power that comes from the level 4 dragons, it looks like, again, TSM want to push into the base.
They do want to morph. Now has two ways to remove the crap, one with the Manta, one with the Satanic.
We'll see. Stomp doesn't actually connect, but maybe just a zone and Stomp here as Tomato. You might see success. Do they want to go for this one? Just going to be the strength attack. That strength blast coming through with the adaptive strike. And yeah, this is going to be another lane of racks, it looks like, because TSM, they don't want to leave the space. They still have the Aegis for another 2 minutes. Telekinesis, Hex onto the Mars. Do they want to go for any more? Looks like they break the Lincoln Sphere, and now he steals that form once again. He's going to be able to get himself in. The arena comes out. XXS uses the BKB. Going to be the furthest one for the back lines, though. Tomato, he just wants to go in, and Mono has to pop the BKB of his own. Time walks himself away from it. One Sonic Wave, a decent amount of damage, but XXS getting low. A little bit more damage. It's going to be the adaptive strike from Tomato. He cleans it, so it's going to be another lane of Brax going away for TSM.
He used the refresher and did nothing on the Mars, so that just wasted gold, and now he doesn't have a buyback.
No, he is straight up dead. The dive, they are diving behind tier 4s. They're diving behind the Ancient toward the Fountain. TSM taking complete control of this game. They're going to get 2 lanes of racks. They might even be able to move up the Megas.
Oh, they're playing really well. Every small mistake that Aster makes, TSM immediately capitalizes on it. And, you know, the biggest one, of course, in the top lane where they baited him onto the Roche. Really, TSM, that small play changed everything.
And yeah, it's going to... Again, they've got the last tier 3. Quick blink away from Samelda, because the Dragon Tail was coming out. But Aster, is there any chance that they stop this pressure coming in from the side of TSM?
I mean, if they're winning this game, they're winning it against the Megas in like half an hour, which is very hard to do. So it's not an ideal scenario for them.
They get the kill onto the Faceless Void. Faceless is dead. He doesn't have the gold for the buyback here. 1,000 gold, and GG is just going to be called here. Yeah, Aster, they know when they're beat. They've taken the first game, but the second game, it will go to TSM. We're going to get a draw here for the first time on the stream.
TSM played some really good Dota, right? Even though they were behind, even though they got that Blink Dagger on the DK, they never panicked, right? They weren't like, okay, we have to do everything right now, we have to jump, we have to kill them. No, just play it safe, go from objective to objective, have an idea what you want to do, and you're gonna be fine. They got super strong. They just got a lot of defensive items on Kasane, and that was the idea. Survive through the damage of Aster, because once you use the Chrono, Arena, Mortimer's Kisses, and the Sonic Wave, if nobody is dead, or let's say one support is dead, you want that fight. And they just went from that fact, and Aster could never separate them to get the pickoffs one by one, ultimately leading to their demise.
Yeah, and Team Aster, for as good as they were, being able to get themselves back into it in the first game, TSM maybe a little bit unlucky not to win this first game and take another 2-0, but it feels like a deserved score after the whole of the 2 matches here. Team Aster and TSM both going to split the congratulations here 1-1 in the second series.
I do want to say that I think TSM had better itemization in this game in particular. I think they understood between their heroes what they need to buy, why they need to buy it, how they need to play with it. Kasane in general going for the aura build and always running in front, understanding that the enemies don't really have that much damage to finish him off. Even though when you see a Mars Snapfire and the Queen of Pain, the thing that comes to you is damage, but with the pipe, it all changes.
Yeah, and that is going to be it for us. It is short and sweet here for our Riyadh Masters. And you can see who's going to be taking it over already. I'm Math Magician. We've got Otomo as well that's going to be coming through to take you through the final 2 series of the day. Big shout out for Riyadh Masters for bringing us into this. And Hurry, any final thoughts before we jump to our end of this little adventure?
But I don't know, TSM, I think that we should comment on them because they're looking really, really solid. They might not have gotten themselves to Bali Major, but that's just one series that they dropped the ball on in the in NA right here. I think they actually have a really good shot of making it to the group stages.
Yeah, they look really clean coming into it. And once again, thank you very much, guys, for tuning in. I've been Robin Roll. This is Hurry Freak. You can find us on Twitter if you want to support us at those names. But the stream doesn't end just yet. We have 2 more series to come. Math Magician and Atoma will be taking over. But for now, thank you for tuning in. Hope you've enjoyed the cast, and we'll see you whenever we go live next time.